And we're live.
Well, hello.
Well,
Imagine.
Funny to see you guys here.
howdy there, people in internet land.
Hello,
Hi.
hello, hello.
How
This
y'all doing
is
tonight?
the Rowdy Bunch Smart Not Sober podcast.
Ooh,
We're only 20 minutes late today.
Yeah,
ooh.
I
Be
couldn't
proud of us.
find
I mean, we
a
should
hair
just
tie, so I'm sorry.
we should just set it up so that it's like 9:30-ish. We should change the time. 9:30-ish.
Well, yeah.
Anywhere between the hours of 9 and 10.
No, because we're never gonna be early. Don't even kid yourself.
You
Don't
never
give
know.
them false hope.
You never know, bro.
I do actually know. I do.
I don't believe you.
Name me one day that we started on time.
There's been a few. Few and far between, but there's been a few.
Is this true? So how's everybody's week been?
Busy.
We're in November now. We're getting close to Thanksgiving.
We already had our Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, you're from Canada. You had Thanksgiving too.
I wasn't here last week, was I?
No, you weren't.
All right, yeah, that's what I thought. Last week it was my birthday, so
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I was
so
probably-
tell us.
Happy birthday.
We wished you
Happy
happy
belated.
birthday when you weren't here.
Yeah, we did.
probably intoxicated.
Did you do anything fun besides be intoxicated?
I don't know.
I think you told me you were gonna watch the fight.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I went and watched the fights. That's what I did. I went to
Nice,
the
yeah.
house and watched fights.
Last thing I heard from Hammered is like, I might go watch the fights there, but if not, I'll be in the VC to watch the fights with y'all. And I never heard from him again.
Yeah, I need to turn. So when I went to Italy, I turned off all my push notifications so that I wasn't using excess internet while I was there,
Yeah.
and I just never turned them back on. And now I'm missing like a bunch of shit.
Yeah, bro. I'm about to buy you a life alert.
Yeah, right? Help me, I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh my god.
I've been watching so I wanted to bring it up because I thought it'd be an interesting topic. I brought it up with the guys today, and Hammer was there. We were talking about Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers. They're kind of forcing him to like play, or he doesn't get paid, but he's having, well, what he's saying, he's having mental health issues right now. So it's like really like in a weird spot because like the 76ers look really bad right now because they're kind of trying to make somebody who's going through a mental like issue like play, or else he doesn't get paid.
I don't.
So I'm gonna say something that may be of an unpopular opinion.
That's always how you preface anything, but all right.
Yeah,
Is this
So-
your unpopular opinion? You said is going to make us upset?
probably. So the in trend right now to get away with whatever you want to get away with is say mental health issues, and then all of a sudden it justifies all of the troubles.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
fighting a
people-
mental health
Or-
issue.
Or people are just now more comfortable sharing that, and they've always been going through these issues, but now they know that it's a valid reason.
I
Wanna
do
say
see
that?
your point in that. I do see your point in that.
I guess my only argument back, and this is kind of a terrible side to take, especially being an athlete myself,
Mhm.
is like the reason for not playing valid, but like if my mental health is failing and I don't go to work, am I still going to get paid?
No, you're gonna lose your job, but he doesn't because he's a professional athlete who's getting paid so much money.
It's kind of what I'm getting at. It's
I mean, but those
weird-
are also what personal days are for. Normally, my personal days I'm using as like days that I need a break.
yeah, but your personal days is not like I'm going to take this year off of work.
Yeah, true. It's like 3 days. I get
Yeah.
3 days a year.
Well, I could see it being like I'm going to take a couple weeks off and I'm not going to play a couple games. I don't know the full story on this one, so. But if he was like, in my opinion, which means nothing, but if he's like, oh, my mental health's not there, I need to figure some shit out. I'm not going to play the next couple weeks, but I'll be back before the end of the season, or I'll be back sometime. I don't know, like not. I'm just gonna. I might be back. Maybe I need to do this. my mental health's not there. You can't just say that. It is his job. As much as it's like cold to say, oh well, he's got mental health problems, or he did this, or whatever the fuck it is. It's cold to say. It's still his job.
Yeah.
Like that's
Well,
his
and
job.
also, I feel like if it is so bad that he can't play, then he needs to be in some kind of like outpatient therapy or something. Not just like seeing a therapist a week, but if it's that bad, like maybe he should go, I don't know, what's not called rehab, just like, I don't know, a mental health facility.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because I mean, fighting is the only thing I can relate it to because that's what I do, right? But you get, and I assume it's the same on all these like super high end athletic careers. Is it's like the highest highs, lows, lows. So like you're winning, everybody's fucking about you, and you lose, and it's like, oh well, this guy fucked up, or like it's very easy to get into these ruts of things. And I'm not saying that it belittles or enhances his standpoint, but like you need to do something about it, not just be like, all right, my mental health's not there, I need to stop. Well, pay me.
Yeah, they could. So, like my employer, let's say you get caught drinking and driving. Okay, well, you have a disease. Well, part of your ability to come back to work is a successful completion of like a rehab facility. So maybe that's the solution. He's saying he suffered from mental health, and then the team forces him to go to rehab, go to an outpatient or even an inpatient facility and get the help he needs. If it's preventing him from playing the game at the level he's supposed to, force his hand, call his bluff.
I fully believe, like I support what River's saying, but also on the other end, devil's advocate, because I'm gonna play both sides.
What?
um,
There was only one
there's
side, the side that I'm on, the right side.
the devil's advocate is we don't really have a lot of knowledge about mental health. We don't really have. They're like, I don't know. We can't. We're sitting here right now talking about it, and we can't name a place where you can go for this.
I mean, there's
I mean,
institutes that you can
there,
go to for like, I mean, your therapist and things like that's the best like thing that you could probably do.
I mean, there's a bunch of places I can name. Number one, I mean, this is the worst option, but the psych ward.
Yeah.
Like, and it's money is no issue for him, so he can get the best of the best care. Like, there are
Well,
facilities that would accommodate him.
Most
I'm not saying
insurances,
there aren't. I'm not saying there's not places. What I'm saying is like it's not common knowledge. It's not like I go out and ask 6 of my friends, and maybe I'll think one of them gives me an answer of where I could go. That's not like go find a therapist. Go find somebody you talk to once a week, which is what we started it with. That like that's not enough.
Right.
how so I think there's like context within that I should provide like for the story so it makes more sense to like everybody. So
Okay.
Ben Simmons is a he is an NBA player who started out his college career with shit, why am I drawing a blank on who he started with? The LSU Tigers, sorry. He was a #1 draft pick. When he was with the Tigers, everybody thought he was like another LeBron, Magic Johnson. He's a very big player, tall, but can run point guard, which is generally for smaller players. So he's a hybrid guard, is what they called him. He came into the league. Off the bat, he had a season-ending injury first year. Like couldn't even play. Like I think it was like second game, so he didn't play all his first year. Second year was really his rookie year. He had always an issue with free throws and shooting, like mid range and long range. He wasn't
He wasn't good.
he wasn't a like your knockdown shooter, but he was very good at passing. He was very knowledgeable. Like basketball IQ was through the roof, handles the ball very well, and he can move very well, like a LeBron, like a Kevin Durant. He can get in and out of the paint, so like that's very valuable. Enough to make him an all-star. Now, this was the last year is what happened. The big issue. There was the first year that his team now is #1 in the league. They're going into the playoffs favorites to win, or at least make it to the finals. They get to the Eastern Conference Finals with Atlanta. And that's where the problem started happening with his shooting, where he just, I think the biggest stat was in the final quarter, the fourth quarter. They played up to 7 games. So it's like best of 4. You have to win 4 games and then you go to the next round. and it's a best of 7 series. So the first 2 games are in Philly, first 2 games are in Atlanta. 1 game in Philly, 1 game in Atlanta, last game in Philly. They made it all the way to the 7th game, and all 7 games in the 4th quarter, he only shot twice. He was very scared to try and shoot at the fact that he would either be fouled and have to shoot a free throw, or he'd miss a shot, to the point where the players were fouling him like Hack-a-Shaq because they wanted him to always shoot the ball in the final minutes so that they would rebound it, because he would miss every free throw. Like, he was petrified to go to the rim. Like, he was petrified to, like, there was an instance, and it's a famous like highlight, where he had a clear dunk. No one was around him. In midair, it's like the switch turned on, the fear, and he went and passed it in midair. Clear dunk that he could have had. I don't think anybody's ever seen that ever happen in the NBA. And it was like a clear indicator, like, okay, this is something mentally. Like, he is so fearful that he's willing to like not shoot the ball, because he doesn't even care if his team loses. Like, he's scared for it to be on him. They ended up losing that game. Atlanta went to, actually, that was the semifinals. Atlanta ended up going to the finals against Milwaukee. So like that was like very like and people in Philly started burning his jersey, like ridicule
wow,
him.
Philly.
Yeah,
That's
they started. They said it was all his fault, and like arguably, they could have won that game if he was just a bit more aggressive. There was always talks about him not being an aggressive player. Like, he's very mellow, he's very chill, he's calm. He doesn't really lash out. Like, he's had some like
always-
crazy interviews where like people like really ask him some crazy questions, like, "Hey, do you even want to be in the NBA?" And he'd be very like, I want to be here, and never like he wouldn't like. He's a very quiet dude. So, and this
That's
guy's like,
always- he's always been like that.
yeah, and this guy is, mind you, he's 25. You know what I mean? Like, he's not. He's still a young guy.
He's married to
And
his high school sweetheart or something, right?
yeah, I think so. But yeah, I mean, after the coach, like, they were coming out and they were already saying like, we don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna have to work on some stuff. Like, and Philly just wanted to trade him immediately. Like, and it just made this depression go further down, because now it's like, now like he felt like the team that he's giving his all to just doesn't want him anymore. The trades didn't go through because, like, really, no one really wants to pick up a superstar that's not going to shoot in the 4th quarter. Like, if he's
No one's
afraid to
gonna
shoot,
want a superstar that's not a superstar anymore.
yeah, like, you need to be able to, like, at least shoot the ball in the 4th quarter. Like, at least attempt. Like, he didn't even attempt because he was so scared. It would have been different if he missed shots. Could have been an off night. Could have been an off series. Everybody has had it before. But, like, to not shoot the ball because you're so scared, that's a whole other fucking ball game you're in. So, like, I think, like, mentally, there's something there, because what I saw, because I saw those playoff series, that's something in your mind that is stopping you from doing a fucking, like, just a common sense action in a basketball game. You have a clear basket, you can dunk the ball easily, no one would have stopped you, and he like passed it in midair, like as if he was in midair and the fear switched on as he's in flight, and he passes the ball and the ball just goes out of bounds, and you're just like, what the fuck just happened? Like this, is this guy cool? Is he all right? Because that shit's not normal.
So to be fair, that's pretty much what.
Like an MMA fighter just is about to fight somebody and then curls up into a ball. You're like,
we've seen
whoa.
it.
Yeah.
I've seen people who like take shots and all of a sudden they get hit and they're like, oh fuck, and then they
Yeah,
don't fight the same since they.
And that, yeah, because I feel like that's probably fucking traumatizing to them. Like, they probably got hit so hard that they just reevaluated their whole existence in this sport.
Yeah, it
Like-
sounds like mild PTSD.
I mean, all these things are, and it's not diminishing the like validation. I don't know the right word.
Would you
It's
not akin it
diminishing
to
their
performance
feelings.
anxiety?
Yeah, but that's it. That's why we have people who are at the highest level competing, and that's why we're paying to watch them, because they're dealing with all this shit and they're performing. A common thing I like to associate with is we call them gym fighters. People who in the gym, they're fucking animals. They'll tear you up in the gym. They'll tear up the best of the best in the gym, and they go out and they compete in front of people, and it's just not the same person that you've trained with. Like, people who just can't perform. And then there's people who are in the gym and are terrible. and we'll go out there and perform. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Besides the mental that we don't fucking get, like you're kind of expected to deal with your shit, and it's cold to say it like that because people just assume when you say deal with your shit, it means like fucking figure it out and rub some dirt on it, pussy. But that's not what I'm saying. Like deal with it is like deal with it however you need to deal with it. Change your diet, change your training, change who you're talking to, change your doctor, whatever the fuck it is. You are your commodity. I mean, you are your like race car. You are your car. You are your work. You are your work desk. If your job is you, athlete, you're responsible for yourself.
You
So,
have to be
like,
your own advocate.
yeah, you gotta do what.
And
you
the thing
do.
is, like, they're treating. I feel like they're both at fault. Ben Simmons does have some fault because he's been very wishy-washy about the whole mental thing. He's been very prideful. Like, people have told him, listen, to me, you may have like you went through like something in your mind at least traumatizing because like you just like froze up more so than any other person would have in a live action sports basketball high tension moment. You just fucking like you just went
You froze.
AFK, like fucking gone. Like, you
That's a
need
good
to-
analogy. I like that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, you need to see somebody. Like they even said, and like he didn't want to, but at the same time he feels jaded by the Philadelphia 76ers, who in part I understand it's a business that you're doing that. It's not out of the realm that teams do that. It's actually very normal. Like if they feel like they're not going to get anything out of you, they're going to trade you. They're going to fucking get somebody else. It's a business at the end of the day for them. But
It's cutthroat. Yeah.
yeah, and I just think it's messed up though that now that the Phillies, because Philly at this point they're being very unreasonable because they not only when they're talking to these other teams, it's not that they want to get the same value, they even want more, and it's like you're just not gonna get that from teams
What do you
for
what do you mean?
like they want to trade. Like for instance, they had a trade where they wanted to get Kyrie, and then they wanted to get I think one of Milwaukee's second best players. And it was just like, whoa, bro, like,
That's unreasonable.
yeah, because it's like one,
If-
we don't know if Ben Simmons wants to play right now.
If Ben Simmons, this is just me trying to figure out because I don't know these people. But if Ben Simmons is playing at the caliber they expected him to be at, is that an unfair trade still?
I think it's not an unfair or fair trade. I feel like maybe the other team gave up a little too much, but it wouldn't be an
People
unfair.
gave it
It
to
wouldn't.
people.
Yeah, but it wouldn't. Well, two people at that caliber. It could be different if you give me your best player and then your worst player. You know, that's a little different.
Okay.
But they're getting
I'm
like
just
their
trying to
best.
Understand.
It's like they're getting their first best player and their third best player, and it's like, that's a lot for just
Yeah.
your one guy, right?
Yeah, I was trying to understand because I don't know basketball players, so I don't know who those two are.
Well, and also to be fair, Philly is rough. It's a rough city to play with if you
Yeah.
like them.
And that's
Like,
another thing. I don't
they
think
are
he
mean.
doesn't want to play anymore for Philly. Like he feels really shaded that Philadelphia just like started burning his jerseys, you know, a la LeBron James. And like they just don't want. He just wants a fresh start. Like and that's not unreasonable. There's been plenty of players that have done that. Dwight Howard, James Harden, LeBron, Kobe. Well, Kobe at one point.
I mean, that all makes sense. It's just like it's similar to like. Sorry, he's about to go nuts. It's similar to like you have a coach who doesn't believe in you. You're not going to perform. You're not going to do what you need to do, or you're in a fight camp that doesn't like you, or you're playing soccer overseas and the city doesn't like you. You know, it's hard to want to put your all out there for that.
Yeah,
He
and
doubles down on his mental.
Yeah.
and Philly has been notorious for like not really doing well with their players. I mean, they just had when they had drafted Ben Simmons, they also drafted the year before the number one pick Marquise Feltz, and like he had an injury, and like I don't know what Philly was doing, but they were forcing him to play with like an injury, and he couldn't shoot the ball properly. And it was so much to the point where when he came out the first night and shot the ball, the commentators were shocked. They were like, "What the fuck is that? Like, that's not a shooting form. Like, is that good? Is he good?" Like, they thought that something was up. They actually thought to the point where he was having mental issues. Like if something happened where like they forced him to like have a shooting form, but he was injured, and now he's with Orlando, and all of a sudden now he's playing a lot better, and because they actually took care of his injury and like gave him time to heal. Philly's not. I mean, this is the same team that like all that Allen Iverson has done for his like organization, Philly, and they don't even allow him to be like anything a part of the organization. Like
Yeah, I always think that Allen Iverson whole situation is fucked up. And again, to speak to Philadelphia as a city, this is a city where when we won the Super Bowl, their way to celebrate was to riot, which, you know, most cities do. But there was one video that I saw that was fucking nuts where this guy picked up dog shit from the sidewalk and ate it to celebrate.
What?
yeah, Philly
Like,
fans are
that's
different.
Philly. That's Philly in a nutshell.
Philly fans
The
are a
city
different
of
breed,
brotherly
bro.
love.
Yeah.
They're a
Anyway.
whole different breed.
They really are, and I can say that because, you know, I'm from, well, like an hour outside the city, but I know enough Philly people, and I've been there enough that I know that it's a
Did you
hard
know the
city to play with.
person? Did you know the person like in real life that ate the poo?
No,
Like, were you acquaintances?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, thank God. I would have to reevaluate my entire life if I knew that person.
I would want you to get him on the show.
True.
Yeah, he would have to come on.
Yeah. By the way, still no luck with $2 Bob. Just to say that.
I forgot about Bob, man.
Yeah, still no luck.
What if I
I'm
gave him
still hoping.
$5? Would he come?
No, he's got money.
Do
He's
we
got
know
a
if
good
he
job.
survives COVID?
I mean, the last time we talked, he was cited, but he hasn't been cited since. So
Oh,
I don't
no.
know. I don't know. But it would be news. Like, I would see.
So
if he
have
died.
we gotten into contact with him, or is it just like we haven't got contact?
We haven't. Like, I have a friend that lives in Bloomsburg still,
And they're
and
looking for him.
yeah, and I told
Well,
her
there's-
like, if you ever see her or see him, like, let me know. Give him my contact information. Like, we'd love to have him.
There's a bolo out.
Yeah,
Bolo.
there still is. Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's not gonna forget. Like, it's $2 Bob. Like, it's not just some random person she'd run into. It's like, oh, there's $2 Bob. Oh, wait, I gotta go talk to him.
Side note: do we have an email for this show or something? Because we need the
We
fans
do actually.
that
Yeah.
are
We
listening.
do.
If you see $2 Bob,
Right, let us know. There is an email. I think, isn't it just smartnotsober@gmail.com?
Yep, spartansober@gmail.com.
Let us know.
Or our Twitter, whichever.
Mm.
Or our LinkedIn.
do we have a LinkedIn?
No.
I don't think we have a LinkedIn.
We do not.
You know, you gotta have a LinkedIn, bro.
What's our Meta account?
So I noticed
Yikes.
today that on Facebook it actually has Facebook like the logo, and then it says underneath by Meta.
By Meta,
I
yeah.
noticed. I
They
noticed
changed
that on
it.
Instagram.
Yeah, it's changed
Yeah.
now.
We're going in a whole new era, bros.
Yikes.
I saw something. I was talking to somebody today about it. That they were talking about that they want to bring the world into virtual reality, like
Ooh.
the Ready Player One. Remember that?
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah. I saw his like promo for Meta, and that's kind of what
That was a good movie.
It was
So
a
they're
good book
talking
too.
about making that real life, essentially.
Ugh. No thanks. River, you had something you wanted to discuss?
No, it's okay. I don't want to
Nope.
cause drama.
No.
No.
I have something to add once you're done with your spiel.
What?
Kyle Rittenhouse. That's what I
okay.
wanted to talk about.
Sure.
He's a soul. Sure. All right.
It's a very polarizing topic, and I understand that there's people on both sides present. I just want to
you
say
don't know
that
that. You don't know
Yeah.
our views. We've never expressed them on this.
I would just like to say that as someone that is not American, looking in on how it's all going, I think that the premise of innocent until proven guilty is something that needs to be held very sacred. And they basically said he was guilty without having all the facts. And now the facts are starting to come out in the court proceedings that, yes, maybe he did go there with the intent of being nefarious, but
Nefarious.
nefarious,
Like
ooh,
that
big
word.
word.
Like that word. Write
But
that down.
it's now starting to come out that, at least in one of the instances, he shot someone because they had pointed a gun at them. and that person that pointed the gun at him, who was then shot, wasn't legally allowed to carry that weapon, and forgot to mention that in his police statement. And he was the witness for the prosecution, just to add icing to the cake. So it looks as if maybe he could be innocent versus guilty. And that's just one of many testimonies that is just unraveling at the seams right now for it.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of that information was already available prior.
Yeah,
It's
Videos.
just, you know, it
but
wasn't big.
it's just astronomical that the prosecution, for such a major issue, right, that was all over the news, is bringing up his Call of Duty scores
No
and
way.
how
Did
he
they?
portrays him as a bad person because he kills people with an AR-15 in a video
Yeah, they
game.
did say that. Yeah.
Did they really?
Yeah. So it's
What
like
was his,
really like are we on punked right now? Like this is seriously how we're gonna try and prosecute this guy for killing people?
They
Is
brought
he
up
plays
his
Call of
TikTok.
Duty?
They brought up his TikTok name too. 4 Doors More Horrors.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
Jesus Christ.
They
no,
said
but
it
like
in court.
is this the way that you're gonna get a conviction? Like what is this, amateur hour?
Right. Well, and I also like the whole crying thing. I feel like was just ridiculous because when you compare it to him at the bar the night after everything happened, he's celebrating, he's cheering, like he's so pumped up, everyone's celebrating him. And then all of a sudden he takes the stand and he's just like bawling. And as a teacher who's had very young kids who have cried out of guilt, there's a difference between crying because you genuinely feel bad about it or crying because you feel like
You got
need,
caught.
yeah, you got caught. And there were no actual tears coming from his eyes if you watch the video. No tear falls from his eyes. He's crying because he got caught.
Well,
It's not a wow, I feel genuine remorse for killing these people. It's I feel genuine remorse that I'm in the situation right now.
I don't know.
To be fair,
I might have to disagree on that one.
even if that is the case, I would, if I felt, and I'm gonna take it away from the case and just make it this scenario. If I felt I killed this person in pure like self-defense, everything is by the book. So again, eliminate the case, eliminate why I was there. Like somebody broke
Right,
in
you
my
just-
house, I killed him. Boom.
Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't be crying because I felt bad about killing them. I might cry because I might get in trouble for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
agree with you, Hammered. It's like why would I feel remorse for that when
But
I was in the
also,
right?
To kind of comment again about you guys both brought it up that he's in the bar talking about it, and then when he's in court crying about it. Those are two very different scenarios. If I'm talking with my boys, or I'm at a bar where everybody's happy that I did something, regardless how I feel, one, it's going to make you feel good. You got a bunch of people who are like, yeah, you did fucking good, dude. Good job. Like, blah, 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 right? Everybody's telling you did good. Whether you did or not, irrelevant. Everybody's telling you that. So you're going to feel a little bit better about that. And also, like, even if you did feel bad about it, I'm not just going to be like, I don't know, sad about it in front of a bunch of people. I'm just going to be like, yeah, let's
This
take
happened.
a picture.
Yeah.
And then when it comes time where you're really fucking talking about it, it might be different. And again, this could be all fucking left field. This guy could be a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like in the court. It's just, I don't know. I see a lot of things to it, and I see a lot of like weird shit on both sides where
Yeah.
they're like showing weird things. It's like, why does this matter?
Yeah, I have an opinion from a former high school classmate. He's actually an ex of mine, but I want to preface it with a video of him that went viral. So I just posted it in the chat. You can pull it up on screen if you want.
This is a video of your buddy.
Yeah, so this was during the like when there was huge protests for Black Lives Matter and all these things, and like all of the National Guard was out like during the protests and stuff. So he's one of the National Guard officers. He's the first one that you see.
Hold on, let me switch screens.
Okay. And he's not on the whole thing, so we just watched like the first 15 seconds or whatever, just so you can see like he's a good-natured guy. He's always been a good guy. Like he is in the military, and he takes his service seriously. And this was an opinion that he gave that I thought is very valid. But this is just to preface. So I feel like you get a better handle on who he is as a person.
All right, I'm gonna play it.
So that's him right there. with
He
the
got,
helmet on.
look, he got the boots on. He got the Yeezy Desert Storms on. Okay. Hold
The
on, what's
first
this
one.
over here? Okay.
Yeah,
What
first
y'all holding
guy.
around right now? What, that's an M16? M4? Oh, that's an M4. Okay. Play me in
He knows all
Warzone,
about
bro.
gun control.
I'm gonna meet you in the gulag. Warzone to another level. They came out the gulag ready. Hold on, I know
How
he
to
got like
safely
20
and
kills.
effectively use
I know he got
firearm.
20 kills.
You can
Okay.
stop it there because you're not.
Look at this shit crazy.
But that just to preface, that's him. So let me read his thing, and I think this is something we can all kind of agree on. It's a very much like everyone's wrong in this situation type of opinion. It's a little long-winded, so stick with me. Everyone is chiming in on the shit, so why the hell not? Let's break it down. Keep in mind that this is in its entirety a critique and not a commendation of any participants. You've got a kid on the news. News can call him a man all he wants. He's still a kid. With this grand idea that he's going to roll into town and be a hero. Talking about it, it's his job to protect small businesses and render aid to his fellow citizens. While one of the guys he's rolled in with goes on record as wanting the people of the city to target government instead of their own neighborhoods. Clearly, Rittenhouse adheres to this idea that his calling is to step in and save people from visiting chaos on themselves. He thinks he's doing a service by establishing order through intimidating presence, hence the militia participation and dream of being a cop. But he's a fucking kid. He's got no real clue what he's doing, no legitimate and enduring training regimen, and he's got a gun and a med pack and a group of dudes to make him feel more secure. Until he doesn't. You're 17, you're in a city you don't even live in, it's been burning for days, and suddenly you find yourself alone. I don't know what happened between him getting separated from the gas station crew and running to the dealership, but this kid was isolated, scared, getting chased by a dude, then shots were fired, and he wasn't the first person to pull the trigger. I'm surprised he didn't fire until he thought he was being fired on, honestly. Now, people are quick to chime in that he was looking for this fight, that he showed up wanting to kill, you wouldn't bring a gun if it wasn't your intent, etc. That's the mindset of people that don't carry. Some people posture up, brag about being strapped, daring someone to give them a reason. But the majority of gun people, hobbyists and lobbyists, and every other sort of legally owning and carrying citizen are just giving themselves options, taking precautions for the worst case scenario. Personally, I wouldn't have even bothered going in there. Not my job, not my home, not my problem. But Rittenhouse decided it was his problem and responsibility to make a stand, and he thought showing up with a gun would discourage a crowd with greater numbers from giving him trouble. He was wrong. He became a target. What follows is on everyone. Dude decided to charge a civilian with a gun in the midst of protests regarding how professionals handle their guns. Stupid games and prizes commenced. Kid panicked at the reality of the situation and tried to remove himself. People took it on themselves to hound him while looking for the same cops they were protesting to fix the problem. Ironic, but acceptable. That is what they're paid to do. Then this kid ran, 2 cops, mind you, in the midst of everyone shouting, he's the shooter. He approached with arms up to turn himself in. And then when they didn't approach him as a threat, he ran home like the scared kid he was. Skater Boy decided to attack him. Round 2 of Stupid Game and prizes commenced. You assaulted a kid who just shot somebody and was freaking out about it with a skateboard while he still carried the gun. What were you thinking? He tripped, 3 dudes tried to dogpile him, 1 pulled a pistol on him, he opened. He's an untrained kid with adrenaline through the roof, and you attacked him. Of course he opened fire. The primary message in any shooter situation training that you've probably heard, because this is America and that's how we roll, I guess, is to shelter in place, flee if possible, and only attack the shooter to defend your life. People thought that they could gang up on a kid and learn the same lessons we learned in World War I. Walls of bodies don't beat walls of lead. But let's talk about the commute for a second, since that's a big headliner. Yes, kid was on the wrong side of state lines per residence and had to drive 30 minutes to get to it. You know how long a drive it is to the nearest big city for me? An hour to Philly. Rittenhouse lived closer to Kenosha than I do to my current job site, but somehow that means the events going down there were beyond his purview. Residency means nothing with these events, evident in the fact that days after cop cars were overturned and burned inside City Hall, people were swarming to Philadelphia for miles to walk the streets in solidarity. The difference between those days and these in Kenosha was conduct. The former arrived to be seen and heard. The latter have so far been very effective in retaliation instigation. Also, what happens to borders being meaningless constructs? I recall that a major point of discussion in regards to immigrants and refugees. People can seek a safer or more prosperous environment across national lines, but our own citizens can't try to manifest a safer environment half an hour from their house. Note, I can recognize initial intent versus sloppy execution. Clearly, Rittenhouse only contributed to the chaos and had no idea how to be a de-escalating presence because, once again, he's a fucking kid. Moving on, most of what I've seen has been his idiocy and escalation. The only consistency has been well-deserved after an action criticism of police conduct, and boy, there is a lot to criticize. Nobody seems to argue that there was no reason any cop needed to have a gun drawn on Blake. There were so many other options available to those chuckles. I don't know what that means. So those chuckles before we get to that point. And I'm grateful he's alive and stable. They could have been boxed in his car. They could have been called in his plates and vehicle description. They could have been tased. And instead they fired over noncompliance. Frankly, they've reaped what they've sowed since. But it doesn't end there. Almost done, guys. Sorry. I get empathizing with guys who reportedly arrived to support the same mission you're on. Protection of private property. But that appreciation can't influence your performance. At no point should strangers with guns have been permitted behind a police line. At no point should they have been considered separate from the treatment of any other curfew violators. At no point should they have been provided supplies. If you're going to tell one group they can't be outside during a period of heightened government controls, boys open carrying in the street should have had their own detached focus on them if you're truly impartial. For the same reasons, the sheriff wouldn't deputize a citizen. They recognize that it's a recipe for dumb shit. So he's basically saying like they shouldn't, criticize one group for being out and then reward another group for being out. But worst of all was responding to shots fired, witnessing a kid with the slung rifle coming straight at them with hands raised, and letting him walk right through their midst unchallenged and never detained. That was an egregious lack of judgment and control. The big takeaway from all of this is that people are doing a lot of talking and calling each other's bluffs and then being surprised when the response doesn't go in their favor. Kenosha PD lit up an unarmed black man in the back mid-BLM Fest 2020. Way to go, you fucks. The city's on fire now. Kid brings a gun into a volatile, densely populated AO, I don't know what that is, to challenge arsonists and somehow, note the sarcasm, finds himself the target of a Molotov cocktail and assault and is now charged with homicide. Wouldn't have killed
operations.
Oh, okay. And wouldn't have killed anyone in self-defense if you don't take it on yourself to pull some vigilante posturing, you little shit. Where were your triage skills after the first body dropped? Dudes assault a kid with a gun, get got. Just yeah. We're seeing a lot of consequences for actions this year, and none of it's really surprising. Just sad. Stay in your lane, guys. But if you take action, be sure of your convictions going into it, because everything is recorded and dissected and put on display. So know what you're about. Don't bring heat that you aren't willing to receive in return. Don't put yourself in a situation you cannot control, and learn everything you can to prepare for worse scenarios, because we're getting tested this year in ways you've never expected. Stay safe, and for the love of God, let's figure this shit out, because Civil War 2.0 is not what I signed up for, and I'm less than 2 years out from retirement. I don't want to be the guy in the movie about this, damn it. The end. So I know that was super long-winded, but it was basically a very long story about how it's literally every single person's fault in the situation.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first.
I mean,
the
more that I've been seeing the case, and the more that because I didn't really pay a lot of attention to the facts when it happened. All I heard was what was going on with the videos and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I see the facts, I'm just it just sounds like on both sides, it's just a lot of dumb shit went down. And unfortunately, people got killed. I don't think that kid should have ever went there with that gun. I mean, if we look at it from a lot of aspects, I can understand why he went there. If his thing was, I'm just trying to help out these business owners protect their property, because it's not right that all this looting happens and their shit gets fucked up. And I get that. If you want to do that, that's cool. But it's just so many aspects of so many things that went wrong that I'm just where do we begin on who's at fault and who's not? I don't even know if there's an instance of no one, there's these people at fault and then there's not these, everybody's at fault. Him bringing a gun, because he shouldn't have like crossed state lines. So like with that, he wasn't old enough, like or some shit like that. I think he should have did that. Why the fuck did those people like run at him like when he has a gun? Like that, I think that to me is the most baffling thing because I'm like I don't know about you, but if my neck of the woods, buddy has a gun, I'm going the other way.
Yeah, peace out.
I'm out. Like I'm not challenging somebody with a gun.
That's a thing of like being around people who like you've seen it, right? Or whether you've seen it or not, like you're in an area that like that's a thing. Where some of these people, that's just not a thing.
I guess, yeah, but I think
know what
it's.
I mean?
Regardless of the fact, I mean, that's just
Doesn't make
dumb.
it better or worse. It's just,
Yeah. I mean, I definitely understand what you mean. I just like to me, I'm just like I'm so more on the side that like why it's just dumb. Like if like what do you think you're gonna do? Like if you without a gun against people, a guy with a gun. I know one guy had a gun, right? And like he was gonna shoot him. So like that I understand. If somebody's gonna shoot you, you're gonna get shot back. Like I don't see the craziness out of that. Now I understand like they're trying to like find out who was provoked first, like that. Now at that point I can understand why there needs to be like there needs to be a trial, and like is it because if he's like if they find it that he was the aggressor, then like yeah, he deserves to go to jail. But like right now I think they should just let the case go as it is. I feel like the prosecutors is really like, from what I heard, is fucking shit up. Like I really need to like look into it more, but I've seen like, you know, just clips of him getting like yelled at by the fucking judge, and like he's like, I think some ethics shit. Yeah, so like that's like I feel like that's on the prosecutor. Like what the fuck's going on, my guy? Like
I mean, we all know how this case is gonna end.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I think there's just not enough. Like, and here's the thing: I so want it to be like I so want it to be the other way, where it's just like, yeah, he's guilty, and like he wanted to do this, so it shows that people who think like him, because there's a lot of other people who would have done worse that are in his position who think worse, like people who did the riots and shit. Like they need to be shown that they're like as much as savages as they think we are. You know what I mean?
It's a huge double-edged sword.
Yeah, but like
which way this goes.
Yeah, but unfortunately, like I just don't see it. I you know what I mean? And like I feel like we as like at least like here on minority side, if I want it to be equal for us, then we got to make it equal for the other side as well. And like it's just like it's not enough. And I know if she was on the other foot, we would probably not get the same treatment. And I get that, but it's like at some point, like we got to take a stand and be like, we got to let it play out the right way, or else we're nothing's gonna change. Like I just feel like that. Like if we go in and people start saying no, he should still go to jail and everything, even though like it's been proven like, you know, the facts of the case are that he's like not at fault, then I just feel like it hurts us in the long run, because they're just gonna do just as worse. They're gonna make sure that when we're on the stand, we're prosecuted, like no matter what evidence we show.
So to kind of piggyback on that idea, and it was something your friend had brought up. It was the talk about how he ran at the police with his arms up with a gun and all that, and they just kind of let him through. Like,
yeah, I never got that one. What the fuck was the police doing?
Well, the question mark would be, all these police just got in trouble for overuse of force, and I'm not justifying anything that's happened anywhere on one side or the other, but they all got in trouble for overuse of force. So now people are like kids' gloves, don't do shit, especially during a riot scenario. And now a riot scenario, you need to start taking into consideration, what's the best course of action? Do I detain? Now they should have detained him once he was back behind them. That's what I think should have happened.
Mm-hmm.
But do I detain this kid out here in the center where there's all these other people who are throwing fucking Molotovs? They hate us. They're shooting at us. Or they're throwing rocks at us, whatever. Or do I let them through and let some of the back people take care of them? That's what I think that's what should have happened. They should have let him through like they did, but then like fucking detain him. Take his gun away from him. Like you don't know what the fuck just happened with this kid.
Yeah. I feel like there's 3 parties at fault here. Number 1 is him. I don't think he should be at fault for defending himself. Obviously, he was in a situation where he felt like he had to. It's self-defense. But he should still be charged for crossing state lines, no matter how short it was. He shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have gone. Like, it was a stupid decision, and law is the law, as we all know. So he should be charged for that. It's also the group that he shot, because they shouldn't have cornered him. Like, mob mentality, never good. And then the third party is the police. Like, not only did they handle that situation completely wrong, but I mean, in reality, it's kind of their fault that the situation was there in the first place.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
So I mean, everyone's wrong in this situation. No one is an angel here. They all fucked up. Everyone made mistakes, and they should all be held accountable for their individual mistakes that they made. But I don't think him defending himself was a mistake. He shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. If he wasn't, none of this would have happened. But it is what it is. Go ahead.
The only reason I could see him being there, and it's not the case, is he's a certified protection agent, which doesn't really mean shit in the scheme of law enforcement. But like,
Right.
you're a security guard, you're a fucking armed security guard, whatever it is, you're a private.
You're more qualified.
Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You have something.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like, all right, I'm going here. I'm defending these private businesses. I'm doing this for them. This is all right. But this is just some guy who just decided I'm not going to let this happen. Which, in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, go you, dude. You fucking defended whatever the fuck you felt like defending. But also, like, I know my side. I'm very capable of defending some shit. But like, that's not my fight. That's not my place.
Right.
I don't give a shit. Go do whatever the fuck you want. Don't touch my shit. But like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been there. And again, like, stupid games, stupid prizes. And the fact, like, he's a kid. We can all agree he's still a kid.
Oh yeah.
But even when kids make mistakes, that's not an excuse. They still need to be punished for the mistakes that they made. Like the girl in my school in 7th grade, who is very much a kid, who brought pepper spray. No one was like, oh, well, she's just a kid. It's like, no, she fucking brought pepper spray to school and sprayed a bunch of kids. Like, she made a mistake. And yeah, I'm sure she regrets it up the ass, but
We had a kid get kicked out for having a paintball gun.
yeah.
He just brought it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know his scenario. I didn't fucking ask him, but supposedly he brought it like not intentionally. No, he brought it intentionally, but he didn't bring it for like to shoot up the school paintballs. Like he was literally going to go play paintball afterwards.
Right.
But he brought it, the barrel sticking out of his backpack. He put it in his locker. Locked down a school. They pull it out. He had a paintball gun. They expelled him for bringing a gun.
Yeah, and that's the society we live in today, which is fucking nuts. I'm gonna take a shot. Is anyone gonna take one?
Sure.
Shot o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Solio.
Yeah,
I
I'll
have
take a shot.
something I want to bring up and talk about after our shot. It's actually pretty funny.
River, are you taking a shot, or did you have any?
You better
final thoughts
believe
on
it.
that?
Of chocolate milk.
Oh my
Chocolate
God.
milk?
Chocolate.
God, you're a hero.
But did you have any final thoughts on that, River? Because I know you brought it up initially. So
Yeah. My thoughts are this: is there are definitely
I'm
some
so
things-
sorry. We don't have enough time.
We're gonna shut it down today.
This is-
See you next week.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead, River.
We don't have time for shout outs either. Sorry.
yeah,
I definitely think there are some things that he's gonna get caught on because he did break the law in some instances. But I think there's an underlying issue right now in America and the Western world as a whole. It's a lack of respect for police, and it's a police officer and a police organization having a lack of respect for the population that they serve. They're there to
Agreed.
serve and protect. It's a lack
And
of
that's the
respect
thing.
all around that's causing a lot of the problems, and that they need to stop it. They need to find a way to rectify that, because as
Mhm.
soon as the police can start respecting the people they serve, and as soon as the people that they're serving can respect the police, that is when you have a much better interaction all around.
Agreed. But you got to give respect to get respect, and no one on either side is willing to budge on that. So
That's true.
very much at a standstill. All right, you ready?
I got mine ready.
All right.
What are you
3.
drinking?
So
Oh, I'm drinking Pink Whitney.
You're goddamn right you are.
yeah. I'm drinking my usual rum.
No free advertisements. Pink Whitney sponsor us.
Yeah,
Sponsor
right.
us, yes. Yeah.
Please. All right. Cheers, y'all.
I'll drink Pink Whitney to the rest of my days if they sponsor us.
Yeah, right. Send me a case. Let's go, spitting chiclets.
Yeah, I will give up my liver for y'all.
I'll get a tattoo of them.
On her
Wow.
butt cheek.
I'd get a Pink Whitney tattoo. 100%.
And
All
it's
right.
gotta be the pink on one butt cheek and Whitney on the other butt cheek. Yeah, double the butts.
So I wanted to talk about this before, but River reminded me of it when he first started this story off, that last Rittenhouse story where he said innocent until proven guilty, right? That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yep.
So I've been watching this show, and I'm gonna have to look up what the name of it is, but it's on Amazon Prime if anybody wants to watch it. And it's a show about meter maids, and it follows them around Philadelphia.
Oh, yikes.
I think I've seen this before.
It made me so fucking mad at meter maid. Like, I don't know if this is the way all of them think. I assume it's not, but like these people they were
I
following.
don't. I think that show's not going on anymore.
No, it's off. It's
It still
definitely off the
is?
air. No,
Yeah, it's off the air.
Off.
Yeah,
It's
people
off.
people hated that show.
Yeah, because it showed how fucking shitty these people were.
Well, I mean, a meter maid job in itself is a pretty shitty job.
I went in with that mindset. Like, all right, I'm probably not gonna like what I'm watching because I don't like getting parking tickets. Nobody does. It's a shitty job, but like,
Someone's got to do it.
You broke the law. Like, shit happens. But like, listening to the way these people talked was unreal. It was
so?
like they were like, yeah, once I get rolling, then I get writing tickets, and it's just ticket after ticket. I'm shooting for like 50 today. I'm gonna try to find them. This one girl's like, I just sit over here and wait for somebody to fuck up, but I'm not really hiding. It just happens that this bench is behind a bush where I
Yeah,
can see this parking spot that people often use. And it's like, what the fuck? Or like, she comes around the corner. There's another girl comes around the corner and is like, this guy runs out. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't feed the meter. I'm running late. I'm just doing a lot of work in here. And they put it in. She's like, all right, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Blah, blah, blah. Walks around the block. She comes back exactly an hour later to look at this meter. She's like, oh, look, he didn't pay his thing again.
Yep.
He's like, let's see if I could get this done before he comes out. And I was like, what? Like, you think he's going to come out and you're going to try to get this done faster. You know, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, the thing that like really made it an interesting concept that I never thought about. One of the guys who got a ticket and goes, parking tickets are the only thing where you're guilty and proven innocent.
What?
Parking tickets, like, think about it. It's not like you're innocent until proven guilty. Anytime you get a parking ticket, it's you're guilty. Show us why we're wrong.
True. Never
So
thought
an
about it like that.
example that this guy had was he's like, I parked in this meter. It was a faulty meter. The meter's broke. The meter guy who first came also said it's broke. And then another meter guy came through and ticketed him for not paying it. And he's like, it's a broken meter. And they're like, well, you have to call this person and show them, and they're going to investigate it and see if it's broken. And it's like, what? You have two meter guys, and they put in. We watched the one guy put in a fucking work order for it that it's broken, but they're still going to be like, nah, you got to show us that it's broken. If you don't show us, you still get in the ticket, whether it's broken or not.
I feel like that speaks to their personality in general, but also the police department and the fact that I'm sure that they have like quotas that these people need to fill. So they're feeling that pressure of like, go ahead, River.
Certain townships have outlawed that process simply because it creates an unfair bias towards ticketing.
Major cities have a separate department. That's why they have meter maids now. You're not really a police officer.
Yeah. And I don't know if this happens anymore because I haven't really realized it much as an adult, but I remember as a kid and as a teenager, it was always towards the end of the month, these cops had to fill their quotas for like
Yep.
speeding tickets and stuff. So like you knew that you had to be extra careful at the end of the month because they're looking for you.
It's the end of the month. Slow down.
Yeah. Like how fucking nuts is that? It's not.
That's still a
it's not
thing.
for everyone's safety.
That's still a thing.
Yeah, I haven't noticed it as much like out here. Probably because it's a major city and there's just way more targets and stuff. But it's just crazy. It's crazy, and the police department is already getting a shit ton of funding from the government. Like, and the fact that they're still pressuring all of these officers and meter maids and whoever else to fill some stupid ass quota is disgusting. It pisses me off.
So anyway, if anybody wants to get real upset, go ahead and go watch that show.
No thanks.
Mhm.
I'd like my viewing to be light. Thank you.
I watched like 8 episodes of it, and my girlfriend came home and she was like, "Why you look so fucking mad?" I was like, "I've been watching this meter maid show, and I'm gonna put on the first episode for you, and you're gonna watch it with me because I'm upset."
You're gonna hate it. All right. I do have a topic I wanted to talk about. Before we go.
ready.
So, it's been
Before we
very.
go, what are you saying? We've only been on for an hour. We're a 2-hour podcast.
Oh, before we keep going on.
Oh, gotcha.
So there's been like a really hot debate between what's better, the McRib from McDonald's or the bacon sundae from BK.
What?
Yeah, I've heard that this is the topics of our generation.
What's a bacon sundae?
It's a sundae with bacon on it.
Like ice cream?
Yeah.
How does that? They're not even in the same league. They're not the same game.
I don't know. I mean, it's popular.
I mean, I get it's popular, but it's not like,
Is it as popular as a McRib?
well, like you're trying to compare a dessert and an entree.
I don't know. People are ordering them. Then the McRib is. I hold by the McRib. It's one of the tastiest sandwiches out there.
I've never had
So,
a McRib.
fun fact: River doesn't know what any of those are, so he's gonna have to bow out of the conversation.
You don't know what a McDonald's McRib is? The McRib from McDonald's?
You had
We
to
don't
have
have 'em
seen
here.
it.
You don't get
it's in
McRibs in
cartoons and
Canada?
shit.
We don't have it here.
Can we mail him a McRib?
I might have to buy one and just send it to you like
Can
FedEx.
we do that? Can we overnight him a McRib?
I wonder if I can put it in like a cool like container, so like then you can just heat it up.
I don't. It's probably gonna be a challenge to send it across like international borders because it's food.
Yeah. I don't know the legalities, but like we
How
could for
close?
sure, like,
how
dry
close are
ice
you
it or
are? How close are you are to the border?
Currently, like 9 hours away.
something. Oh
All
my
right.
God.
Okay. So like, what are you doing next week?
So meet me at the border.
Yeah, like all you got to do is just go across the border and just head to any McDonald's that's closest to the border, and the McRib will
Oh,
be
not
there.
even meet me at the border. You go across the border. and get a
Yeah,
McRib.
just yeah.
I think
I'm
that
gonna get-
McDonald's has it on lock.
I'm gonna get a McRib tomorrow. I've never had one.
You've never had a McRib either?
I've seen them. I know exactly what they are.
Izzle
And
says
everybody
I've never
rants
had
and
one.
raves about them.
Izzle says the McRib for sure. But listen, the McRib is one of the tastiest sandwiches you ever have. All right, you're going to have the McRib, and it's going to change your McDonald's viewing, because then when they take it off the menu, you're going to be like, I need the McRib, bro. Like these sandwiches don't cut it.
You know what I had for the first time the other day? The McGangbang.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Are you
You take 'em-
serious?
Oh, soul, we're about to change your life.
For
A
real.
McGangbang? Are you guys
Yep.
Take a
trolling me?
McChicken. No, this is
No.
real. You take a McChicken and a McDouble, and you put them
Oh,
together.
that okay. I didn't know that's what it was called. People just did it.
I've heard
Yeah,
people
no.
call it other things. but
It's a McBang gang. That's
Big
hilarious.
gang.
Gang bang.
Oh, McBang bang gang.
I've heard that for years. That's a thing.
I never heard of that. I've known people doing it, but I've just never heard of it.
I was
Probably
impressed.
too embarrassed to call it that.
Fretchy, have you had a McRib?
Never. But you know me, I'm a picky
Oh
eater,
yeah,
so-
you're a picky eater.
Not really
too. You-
surprised, yeah.
yeah, she's never.
Would
done
you
never
it.
try one?
No.
No, she would never try it. She wouldn't try
No,
half of the
it's-
things on McDonald's menu.
But what if you got a McRib and like took a bite and threw out the rest?
No.
What if we bought you a McRib? Would you bite it and throw out the rest?
I'll
No.
lick it.
Lick
You're
it.
not. How can you? No. Okay. licking is not the same as biting into and chewing to get a texture, like a feel of the
No,
texture.
thank you. Nope.
Like licking does nothing. You can lick anything.
As the resident nibbler, I tend to disagree.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, I couldn't resist.
of course, Mr. Nibbles.
I'm telling
no,
you.
just-
the-
Nah. I mean, I don't like ribs in general, so why would I like?
there's a
ribs?
reason why McDonald's only comes out with the McRib every like
Well, there's
once.
no bone in it. It's like fake meat.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's because it's pork, right? Or
It's
supposed to be
pork slathered in barbecue sauce with some onions on top.
It's when pork prices are at their all-time low. So you'll notice a lot of places are doing a lot of bacon things right now because pork is at its lowest price. There's like super bacon sandwiches and super bacon pizzas, and that, of course, is when the McRib comes out because pork is at its lowest price.
Yeah, and that's why you should get a McRib.
I did not
Yeah.
know that.
But
Yeah.
pork is often cheaper than beef, anyways.
Normally, yeah, but like they only take advantage of it when it's at its lowest price. That's a fact.
And your beef in the States is not like
No.
it's not the same as the.
What do
beef
you mean?
here.
Our beef is the best. We put hormones in our beefs to make it bigger.
Where's the
Don't
beef?
even
Yeah,
talk about
but-
hormones. Talk about Mexican hormones in there.
But, like, if
They
you
got
eat-
real hormones.
If you
Oh,
eat
do
an
they?
American cheeseburger, like from McDonald's, and a Canadian cheeseburger from McDonald's, and you look at the beef content of those beef patties, the percentage of actual beef in your patties is like a third of what it is in Canada.
It's a true
like,
thing. I've
Your
made a
beef isn't
living-
actually like all beef. It's,
But like that hinders your guys' like evolution as a chain restaurant.
no, it hinders.
Well, yeah, it
your
does.
ability
No,
to
it does. Think about it. Do you have the McRib right now?
Nope.
Okay, then there you go.
Probably because there's health issues with what's in it.
I've made a big deal
Greatness
about
is
every
what's in it. It
country-
makes you feel like a champion. Like
Every country I go to, I try the McDonald's there, and every country has had a better McDonald's than we have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all
I
superior.
made the mistake of ordering chicken nuggets in Las Vegas. Oh god.
Mm. I mean, listen, you guys know how much I love chicken nuggets. Not dino nuggets, just regular chicken nuggets.
I don't know.
And what I'm about to say may be very controversial, but McDonald's chicken nuggets
Chicken
are the
nuggets.
chicken nuggets are the lowest tier. They're bad.
I agree. I like Burger King chicken nuggets better than McDonald's.
What?
Okay.
Yep.
now that I
Yo,
know
you're
that-
tripping.
No, I will tell you, I like Burger King's chicken fries.
I'm worried now.
better
That
than
fight
the-
that you had, like, how much damage did you take?
Did you get some brain damage in there? Or... Oh my god.
It knocked your taste buds out of whack, bro.
I would put McDonald's and Burger King chicken nuggets around the same tier. They're both very the same.
Excuse me?
Yep.
I
think
can't
you're all
believe-
drunk.
I can't
Well, what's
believe
in
what I'm
between there,
hearing.
Soul? What's in between there?
It's McDonald's and Wendy's nuggets and then everybody else, bro.
I agree with the Wendy's. Wendy's is top tier.
But Burger King for sure is bottom last. They have to sell their 10 piece at $1.50. There's a
Yeah, how does that
reason
possible?
why.
Yeah.
Because no one buys. No one goes to Burger King and goes, I'm going to get a
Mm.
number 10 piece nuggets meal for $6.
Better. Because everybody goes there for the burgies.
Yeah, they
But
don't give a shit
listen,
about the chicken.
Listen.
Dude, anything chicken with Burger King is disgusting.
No, shut up. You shut your fucking
It
mouth
is.
right now.
No, it for sure.
Shut your fucking
Have you
mouth.
had their
Chicken
chickens?
fries.
That chicken? No. Chicken fries is the worst too. Their chicken sandwich. It has to be
I'm gonna
long.
beat you up.
No, I'm
I'm
telling
gonna
you.
beat you
I'm
up.
telling you. It's a scientific fact that Burger King's chickens are like the chickens that everybody got rid of
I'm
at the
gonna
farm.
punch you in the
He
throat,
said it's a
Soul.
scientific fact.
I'm gonna punch you. Their chicken fries are mid tier.
An abomination from hell.
You're an abomination.
They're the chicken fingers from the devil.
They're not even chicken fingers.
What? Yeah, maybe if they were, it'd be better.
So when I see you, I'm gonna punch you in the throat before you
I
say
can't
hi.
believe out of you who has such a a very you
High
can only
standard?
eat high standard chicken from Burger King.
Their chicken fries are good.
I'm
It's
judging
the
you right now.
seasoning.
I'm
It's
judging
the
you.
seasoning and the breading. It's so good.
I'm completely judging you right now.
You can't tell me that the seasoning in the chicken fries is not good. You
I
cannot
can't
me that.
tell because it's shit chicken.
All I'm saying
But
is
there's barely any chicken in there. It's mostly just breading.
it's 2-on-1 right now, so
Oh wait, where's Izzle? Like Izzle will back me up on this. Are you kidding me? Like I can get a multitude of people to back me up on this.
and we need a
Uh,
vote. Can we have people vote, like vote in or vote for like the next week? Get like
We
some
should
results.
we should post it in Discord and see how everyone feels.
And on the Twitter. Put it on the Twitter too.
All right.
oh my
Yeah, we can do
God.
that because I want to prove Soul wrong so bad. I'm so fired up right now.
No
So-
one. I'm going to tell you right now. There could be a line of fast food restaurants: McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, motherfucking Dairy Queen. All right, and they will go to Dairy Queen before they go to Burger King to get any chicken-related
Chicken nuggets.
products.
I've,
All
I've
right,
never had chicken I've never had chicken from Dairy Queen, to be
it's a
honest,
lot
but-
better than Burger King. I'll tell you that much.
No
Okay.
one has, but
Can
the whole
we-
point is it's better.
Can we rank where
And then, and here's the thing. And here's the thing. You want to know? You want to know a secret fact? They don't even sell chicken.
shut up.
Yeah.
It's so better.
Can we rank,
It's
can we
so
rank
weird.
Chick-fil-A? Where are Chick-fil-A nuggets in this grand scheme?
Um.
Can we just have an episode where we rank fast food? And like
Yeah, we
everybody come
could.
in
That would
with-
be awesome.
We could.
Yep.
Let's all come in with our charts. You know that like S tier,
Yeah,
A
yeah.
tier. Like
I don't-
have
I
your
see-
chart for you.
We'll debate the
Can we do
fuck
that?
out of it.
I don't consider Chick-fil-A in that group.
Why?
It's because like there's not like Chick-fil-A is like selective.
Because
There's
all
no,
they do is chicken.
well, no, it's just because they're only in a certain amount of areas. Oh, look at him.
That's fun.
He looks tired.
Um,
Jesus Christ.
So I was talking before. I'm gonna circle back because I really do want to do this ranking of fast foods. But remember I said the Mexican beef has more hormones.
Yeah, tell me
Yeah.
more about that.
So I did a quick Google because I've heard it before and I don't know that. You know, you hear shit all the time, but apparently Mexico and China are on the list for professional athletes to pay attention to the beef they're eating because of the high amounts of clenbuterol that's been found in beef from those countries, and that you will literally pop hot for steroids.
Wait, I
Oh
think you
yeah,
told us
I've
this
heard of
before,
that. I've heard of
yeah.
that.
I knew
They've been saying that for
No.
they've been saying that for years.
Canelo popped for it before, but I'm looking at it now and there's a bunch of like Olympic athletes popping hot. There's a bunch of soccer players. There's like all kinds of people who have like
Popped
been
out for it. Yeah.
associated with the beef in those two countries.
Yeah, I wonder why
Could
they're
you
doing
imagine?
that. How much steroids are you putting in that you get popped in a fight? Because you know your
'Cause
body
it's
your body
beef the day before.
your body naturally like creates that, but like those drug tests you need to have a certain amount. Like it's not a high amount, but it's a certain amount.
Says
For you to have
Yes.
for your chicken to give you that much of a testosterone boost.
That's gotta be fucking nuts.
How big are these chickens? These chickens must seem like fucking like
in
Goliath.
2018 it's beef. It's beef.
oh beef. Sorry, these whoa, what are they? These cows.
They're giving them clenbuterol.
So
but
crazy.
it says you can drug test taken after eating this beef 36 hours after you'll pop hot for clenbuterol in your system. So like
Yikes.
if I
So-
take a drug test after the fight,
So what you're telling me
and I
is
had a
Canelo.
steak dinner
Yeah, Canelo had some like some beef from somewhere
from
and
Mexico.
popped. Yeah, popped.
Yeah. And then imagine if you're from Mexico and eating it all the time. You're steroid. You're roiding, bud.
So do they get like an exempt?
No.
Is
You gotta
there-
pay
there-
attention to it.
Just you're not eating beef in Mexico, just pork
I
and
mean,
chicken.
they shouldn't even be allowed to have the Olympics in Mexico ever if that's the case.
Well, China's the same.
Having the Olympics is different than like them being like participating.
Well, no.
Um,
I'm saying like if they hosted the Olympics in Mexico, like they'd have
So-
to fly in food for everyone.
Oh
This is-
yeah,
it's just the beef, but this is the same thing with a lot of countries that so for example, when I went to Italy, I fought for the US and we get tested by the Olympic group, the same group that does the Olympics for testing. I don't know what the fuck that is. But there were certain medicines that were I could just buy on the shelf, like a cold medicine, like not over the counter, no nothing, just like pick it up, cold medicine.
Right. Right.
But if I got drug tested taking that, I would pop hot.
Yeah, you can buy over-the-counter meds in some spots that you can't usually get elsewhere.
And it's all country to country, so they can't like dictate where you're at, what you can't take, but they can say don't take these things. And even like my anti-doping course that I had to take to be a part of the US team is like, it basically says like, don't take anything. Is what it says. Don't take medicine, don't take shit. You could get exempts for like having asthma or something, or like if I had a cold going to Italy, because that's what I went for, was like nasal decongestion. I went to the store to get something, and luckily the lady who was running it was like, "Oh, you can't take this because you're part of the US team, or you're part of the people fighting." And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "No, yo, this is anti-doping." And she showed me it, and she showed me like the shit on there. She's like, this is what'll make you go. And she gave me some other thing. It was just some like nasal spray that was, I don't know, it's fucking salt water or something.
Ugh.
But but like there's all kinds of things, and like there's even to the point of supplements that you can get third party certified, which is the best thing you can do, is get third party certified that this has nothing in it. But even then, if I have one thing that's certified and one thing that's like for all my roid people who fucking take it, and it's clearly got the shit in there, it can cross contaminate and get into each other because they're in the same facility, and just
Yeah.
a minuscule amount gets into my shit and I take it, and I'll still
You're
pop
fucked.
out. It's still
Yeah.
my fault.
That was the old John Jones defense.
Yeah.
God.
Hey, my dick pills just happen to be manufactured in the same place where creatine is, you know? So, my God, bro, you know? Party foul.
But
Oh,
there's a lot of
why
weird
is your
things.
why is your
Even like,
testosterone level forever gonna be up? Oh, you know, dick pills,
I
bro.
don't know. I take a lot of
I
dick
I
pills.
gotta take a lot of dick pills, and I guess I use creatine, man.
Well, you know, I half believe his story because he has to take a lot of dick pills drinking all the time. I took the
Whiskey
shot.
dick.
I took the shot.
Now you gotta
That's
fight
a
him.
thing.
I'll fight him.
Do it.
Give a shit. I didn't say I'll win, but I'll fight him.
Go down swinging.
I've trained with some people he's fought. Trained with Dominic Reyes.
I'd bet the shit out of that fight. I'd be like, my boy Hammer's gonna get at least one leg kick in. For sure. One leg kick in.
I'll go to sleep to win that bet.
Dude, it would be a literal dream if you were fighting someone super big and we could all be there like ringside just going nuts.
If you make it
I'd
to
bring
the
a
UFC,
sign.
I would definitely try to make that event. I'll definitely
Oh,
try
I'd
to make
go.
that event.
Yeah.
I'd go.
We're working.
Yeah, yeah, keep working. I'll get a fake beard and I'll cut it like yours and put the little strip in it, just so everyone knows whose side I'm on. You know.
Before I retire, I'm either fighting one of the Paul brothers or getting in the UFC.
But if you get in the
Big
UFC,
goal.
you might get a Paul Brothers fight.
Yeah, you can have both.
Did you see? Fuck. Who was Usman? Usman, after he won, was talking about fighting Canelo in boxing.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
And did you hear what Dana White said in the post-fight conference?
No, what do you say?
He goes, "I saw the Canelo fight. Nobody wants that fight. Nobody's doing that. Not in boxing." It's so dumb. Why are we doing this? You don't like Michael Jordan, amazing athlete, amazing basketball player. Guess what happened when he golfed, and guess what happened when he played baseball?
Sucked.
Fucking sucked.
Sucked ass.
And I get that like boxing and kickboxing and MMA and jiu-jitsu, all those have like a crossover.
Yeah,
but,
similarities.
Like, it's fucking different.
Side note, I heard an advertisement on the radio the other day that apparently Shaq's coming to town. Not to do anything
DJ?
other than to DJ. And I was like,
DJ
what
Shaq.
the fuck?
Yeah,
He's
Shaq.
a DJ?
Yeah.
You should see him at where he goes to raves and he's in the front row just raving now.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
Shaq just
You know
lives.
who else?
Dude, I was watching just TikToks with Lucky
Shaq lives
last
a
night.
good life.
Dude, and River was watching with us, and we're just seeing these Shaq videos. He was at a Jonas Brothers, like, I think, movie event, and he was there just because he was a fan. Regular clothes. He's like, hey, Nick, get Nick. I'm a big fan, bro. Like, he's just out there living, bro.
Is he the one who said he's not giving any of his money to his kids
Yeah,
because it's his money?
yeah.
That cracks me up.
Gronkowski, he was a DJ too.
Yeah, he was.
And Gronkowski and Shaq did a DJ event together.
I remember
Oh,
that, yeah.
God.
That was funny.
And Gronkowski jumped on Shaq's shoulder.
Yep, it was really great.
Gronkowski, who's a giant of a man, looked so little on Shaq's
Cutting on
shoulders.
Shaq. Yo, he looks so small. Even I remember Gronkowski said it afterwards. He's like, well, he's the only guy that makes me feel tiny. like,
Aw,
like I'm not.
so cute.
He's like, no one in the NFL has ever made me feel like that, but not Shaq, bro. Shaq is humongous.
Let me look up. Rob
I mean, he's a
Gronkowski's
7'2",
fucking
like
info.
350, bro. Like he's a gigantic man. And it's just crazy how like when he was younger, he was like this nimble guy flying everywhere at that
Rob
size.
Gronkowski is 6'6", 265, and he felt small.
That's nothing compared to Shaq, bro.
And also that Shaq could just hold him on his shoulders like no problem.
And you want to know something even crazier? That Shaq says that he feels small compared to Yao Ming. Because Yao Ming
Imagine
is
how crazy that must
gigantic.
feel. Like Shaq
Yeah.
has felt huge his entire life, and to find the one person that makes him feel small.
Yeah, you know,
Crazy.
if you put Shaq and Yao Ming next to each other, it's the first time you'll ever say, oh, Shaq looks a little bit smaller. Like, yeah.
Shaq is 7'1", 394.
I think Yao Ming is 7'4",
I'm gonna Google it right now.
7'3" or 7'4".
7'6",
Oh, shit.
310.
7'6". And that motherfucker was shooting mid-range shots. He was ahead of his time.
Who is this guy? Sun Mingming, professional basketball player and actor, 7'9", 370
I don't know
from
who that
China.
is.
How
NBA
do you
draft
exist in the world?
2005.
How
He
do you
was
exist in the
drafted in
world being that tall?
2005.
I don't
Like, you
know.
can't
I think
go
I know.
anywhere.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to hit your head everywhere. You have to duck.
Manette, look up. His name is Bol, Bolbol. He's Manette Bo's son, and I think he's like 7'4", 7'5".
7'2", 220.
7'2", yeah. His dad was also like
Oh my
7'2". Look up Taco Fall.
He just came up.
Yeah, Taco Fall.
Taco- that search.
He used to play for the
7'6",
Boston. Yeah,
310.
7'6". He used to play for Boston. I don't forget who he plays for now. Yeah, there's some big motherfuckers in the NBA.
What the fuck? Why they got him at? Oh, never mind. Oh, his wingspan is 8'4".
Yeah, he has long arms.
What?
Big people, bro. Big people.
Wow. You know the biggest person I've ever seen, like face to face,
Mhm.
was this Bulgarian sumo wrestler in Japan. He was just
Tall?
massive, tall, thick, everything. He was just bigger than me in every way that I can say bigger.
You want to know who I thought
He's
was
thick?
like big?
He wasn't like fat either. He was just big.
Just big, humongous.
But did you see all parts of him?
I guess I didn't know.
Did you see?
No.
Did you
Okay.
see his dick?
Yeah,
Did you
that's
see
what I
his
wanna
dick?
know. That's what I want to know.
I'll ask.
Get a picture of his dick. Oh, that's what it looks like.
Be like, I just want to know if you're bigger than me in every single way.
Oh, here. You guys can look.
Can
him
you
up.
send me a picture?
Yeah, I can. I just looked him up, and I didn't realize that he was this famous, but he is super famous apparently. He is 6'8", 340 pounds.
Damn.
His name is Kotooshu.
Katoshu?
KATSUNORI.
I wonder how big he was as a baby.
But he's huge.
Yeah, this guy's big.
I would hate that though. Like to be that big. I would hate it.
Nah, if you're
I
making millions of dollars.
Yeah, but as a kid, like think about growing up, how uncomfortable you must have felt your entire life.
Well, actually,
Being so much bigger than everyone.
most people didn't grow up like that for a long time. Like Joakim Noah, when he was a sophomore, was like 5'10", 5'11", like wasn't that tall. And then after one summer, came back and he was like 6'3", and then the next year he was 6'7", and then by his senior year he was like I think 6'10",
Oh, that's
6'11".
painful. A lot of growing pains.
That's a lot of growing, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
I don't know,
another
I hate
guy.
it.
There's
I was
another
a-
famous sumo wrestler who's not big, and that was like the big thing is he wasn't big. Let me find him. And he was like fucking these big dudes up. Instead of spelling it out like that one, that was brutal. I'm just gonna send it in the group. Takanoyama
All right.
Shuntaro.
Oh wow. What a name.
It's a cool name, bro.
It is a
But
pretty cool name.
He was only like 6 foot 220. Only. That's still a giant person.
Yeah.
Like but
Yeah,
he
this
was
guy looks pretty big. Holy crap.
Do you think that giants were real at one point?
No.
why not?
Like, if there was dinosaurs, why couldn't we have giants?
I don't know, just because everything I've seen in history shows that people were smaller than us.
We just got bigger.
Yeah, we've evolved over time.
So we may become the Giants.
True. Yeah, I'm not saying they're not possible in the future, but
So,
I'm saying
what
everyone
about
was
the
smaller.
fact that, like, the current lizards we have are smaller versions of dinosaurs? What if we're
May-
smaller versions of giants?
What if, wrong with me on this one, what if we actually live in a magical world where it's reversing everything? The animals get smaller while we get bigger.
Oh,
I don't know.
shit.
Talk to Darwin.
He's dead.
Yeah,
So?
I don't.
Darwinism. Bring back
Get
Darwinism.
a psychic. What do you mean bring
Dude,
back?
I
It's
know a
still there.
psychic. I know a psychic.
Really?
I know.
I've always wanted to go to a psychic and get a reading.
I've done one before, and it's not all that.
To
I
be
went to
fair,
one.
if Darwinism was still here, then we wouldn't need warning labels.
True. That's why we should get rid of them. You know, let Darwinism just keep happening.
I think we should get rid of warning labels on shit like bleach. Like
Hair dryers.
Yep.
seems like we don't
Definitely
need
hair
that.
dryers.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like if you can't figure that out, you probably shouldn't exist.
But
Don't
if you
drink.
guys,
Bleach. What?
if you guys want to jump down the rabbit hole of that guy, that sumo wrestler, you can watch a lot of videos of him where he's going against guys who are like literally twice the size of him, and he throws them or pushes them out. It's unreal. That little guy, little big guy.
The little giant.
He's from like the Czech Republic.
That's that BDE though. That big dick energy.
Big
Yeah.
tick energy. Wow.
So he does. To be fair too, he's got a fucking.
He has a big size dick.
He's clapped up. He's clapped up on a Tuesday. All right.
Okay.
He's got those juicy buns.
He's got some buns, man. He does his squats. He doesn't skip leg day. You watch
Yeah.
any of the videos, you're gonna be like, God damn.
Dude, I don't think you can skip leg day when you're a sumo wrestler. I think that's the whole game right
Yeah,
there.
but these other guys are big. You know, this guy's like, all right, guy. All right, buddy.
I feel bad because I have a student who, like, I mean, it's hard not to notice. Like, he's got, you know, whatever, and he gets made fun of for it. Like,
he wearing-
wow, your
he's
ass
got
is
a-
so big.
He's got a Speedo?
No, he's got a big butt, and like,
He'll be happy about it later.
Yeah.
That's what I told him. I'm like, just wait till you get older, man. Like, everyone's gonna crawl.
It's kind
like,
of it's a lot of the same thing with like facial hair and shit.
yeah.
I feel like that's like the thing that they need to say to just kids like every time. When they have like
Yeah,
a thing
but
that they feel like that's wrong about them now, but like just wait till you get older, bro.
yeah, seriously,
It's
like
just
people are gonna be jumping on that. But right now, everyone's just making fun of you because they're jealous. Everyone wants, big butts. I wish I had a big butt. I do not. Definitely
I
not small.
I
Big butt.
legit remember there was a kid that got pantsed in middle school, and the girls saw him like his dick and made fun of him because it was too big. And I thought that was the funniest shit when I look back at it when I got older. I was
What?
just like, did they really kid him because he had too big of a dick? Is that a thing, or are we just adolescent idiots? Like
Are we dumb?
I knew him up until like because he went to the same college I did, and like he was around my friend group, and it was much more beneficial for him when he was in college. Definitely when then he was in middle school when he got pantsed, which was crazy because it really fucked him up. Because he was just
Yeah,
like,
well,
man, they think like, am I like fucked up or something? And they're like, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, fuck, I'm fucking 14 like you.
kids make fun of literally anything that's different. Anything that's different.
Sure, they used to make fun of me because we were the only like there was only like me or two other Peruvians in school, so they used to like make fun of us because we're like just the three of us in this whole
How
school.
dare you? How dare
They used
you
to
be
make fun of me
Peruvian?
because I was smart.
I used to get picked on because
What?
I had glasses. That was a big
Yeah.
thing. I got picked on a lot because of my name. They used to
Alfredo.
always call me Alfredo sauce. They used to always like mimic pasta. That was the biggest thing they always did. But people like who knew me would call me Danny, but they knew because like they say my name like in school, like the full name when you're doing attendance. And they
Right,
just
right.
always like know that, that's at least my name. And yeah, I'd always get called that. Even the teachers.
Yeah, I don't know. One trend that I'm noticing with my kids is there isn't as much bullying as I thought there would be, just because they're all very similar. Most of them are Mexicans. So, like, what are they going to make fun of? Them being Mexican? Like, no. They make fun of themselves. They call themselves and each other beaners all the time.
There was a comedian that made a joke about that like you don't see like Latin kids do any of like school shootings because whenever they get ridiculed or anything, it's mostly by their own family, but in a loving, endearing way. Like
Yeah.
it's always like, and it makes a lot of sense because like, for instance, people will be like, oh, he made the example like, oh, the kid will go, he'll be fat, and they'll be like, oh, you're fat. It's like, yeah, my mom calls me gordito. Like that's an
Okay.
endearing thing.
So, I have a story about that. So last week on Friday, I decided to do something fun with the kids. We did like Mad Libs online, and it was really funny. So I did it with all my blocks, and then my fourth block came, which is my favorite block. They're fucking hilarious. And we have a counselor at the school, and she's very, very strict. Like everyone hates her. She comes into my room constantly, and like if a kid's wearing a hat, she'll take the hat, which normally I'm just like, whatever. I don't really fucking care, like whatever. But she came in, and we were filling in like the different grammar things, and one of them was adjectives. And I told the kid who had to answer, I was like, because he couldn't figure it out. It's like, just think of like how you describe someone in this room. And he looks at one of my favorite kids who he's not fat, he's just big. Like he's not skinny, he's tall, he's got some weight on him. And he calls himself fat all the time. Like he's totally comfortable with it. It's kind of like a joke that everyone says, and he knows like I call myself fat, he calls me fat, I call him fat, but not like in a mean way. It's just like, I don't know, we have a mutual respect for each other. So
Yeah.
when this kid was like fat, the counselor was like, oh, you shouldn't say that, like that's bullying and blah blah blah. And like the kid so the kid who answered isn't like the one who says he's fat, but he looked at that kid and said fat because that was like the joke of the class. And she like freaked out, and the guy who like calls himself fat stood up for himself, and he's like, no, I call myself that. Like I am fat, I call myself that. Like it's not bullying. We all know like it's okay to call me that. She's like, no, it's blah 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 blah. And I was just like, you don't get it. Like you don't get kind of like the community that I have in here. I would never say something that would make anyone feel uncomfortable, and none of my kids would. We all know each other's lines and like not to cross them. It was really stupid. So then when she left, we all just kind of laughed because we were like, she just doesn't get it. Like she doesn't get it. And I've talked to him multiple times. I'm like, are you sure that this is okay? Like I won't say it. I don't want you to say it if it's truly not okay. Like just tell me at any point if you feel uncomfortable or anything. Because we all just kind of like bag on each other. That's how it is. And it was just so stupid. Like it made me feel bad as a teacher because I'm like, maybe she's right. And then I'm like, no, like we're just joking with each other. Like it's not a big deal. He knows like if it crosses the line, he'll tell me. And I could tell by his reactions like when it crosses a line. So it was just stupid.
It's another example of teachers being out of touch.
Well, yeah, I mean that's so like the comedian was like making like sort of what like Reggie's saying, like it's just like a it's like an endearing thing, like they just like how Spanish kids like gordito, like I got called gordito growing up, and like that was kind of like an endearing thing, you know, like my mom called me on and everything, and it wasn't just because I was fat, it's just like a way of like, you know, it's like they're fucking with you, but it's out of love. And like he made this
Right.
like these kids who like do these school shootings, like they're like they get treated like shit, and you know no one really loves them at home, and there's nothing like no building blocks or anything. So like they just they get made fun of, and it like breaks their world, and like they go and like they commit these crimes, or like this like fucking like just killing people. I was like you never see that on the other end. Like it happens with a lot of cultures. Like you know they have their way of like shitting on them, but in a loving way. It's just kind of like a family bonding thing. Like so now some families are different, you know, there are assholes families, but like for the majority.
Right.
Like I
It's
grew up
just
like
put
that.
down as a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
parent.
I grew up like that. I had African American friends, families that would tag on each other, like the family members, all the time in a loving way. It was never like them like being trying to be malicious or anything. I had other Latin friends whose family were exactly the same way. Like it's just kind of like you know what I mean? Like we all just kind of bag on each other in a like just as a fun, loving way. It's not
Well, it
that.
Big
also
thing-
it helps to establish boundaries because I've had kids where we have jokes like that and then it goes too far and they'll say it. And they're like, you know, that was too far, man. That crossed the line. You know, and they know when it's in good humor and when it's not.
That was a big thing for all my hockey friends. Like it was all just chirp each other, like talk shit to each other, talk shit about each other. If you went too far with something, somebody'd be like, "All right, dude, that part's not cool or whatever." But like, you like became friends by like essentially talking shit to each other, or it kept you sharp too. You're like, you had to be quick. It couldn't just be like, "Oh fuck you, dude." Then you'd get torn apart. You'd have to say something, and really, it also showed in a weird roundabout way, like how much you pay attention to that person. Like you have to know stuff about them to talk shit about them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because if you be honest, I don't know, and this is just me, but like bullies when I grew up, they didn't know my like if a bully said I was like fat or big or anything, in my mind I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, because it's off season. All right, I'm not fucking training. In my
Well, you
mind,
also know they're not saying it out of love. They're saying
yeah,
it
and I don't
to
even
you.
know you. Yeah, like so, like like who the fuck are you? That you're gonna hurt me? Like I don't know. You're just some dude. Like I've had people do that to me. It's more like the people you know that can really fucking say some shit to really fucking like fuck with you.
Dig it in there.
That's why I feel like a lot of times like these kids that like who did these like school shootings and they say it's because of like the mental health and everything. It's like I feel like at home they just like didn't get what they needed. Like no foundation or anything to like be able to like get support. Like I've had people bully me, and I go to my parents and like I talk to them, and then my dad would be like, people are gonna fuck with you, whatever, but you just know like so that you know just like a support like structure. Like it sucks that a lot of them didn't have that.
And
Yeah, just somewhere.
I feel like part of that is whiteness. Like my family was never like that. When they would say things like that, it was to like be mean or to make a point. It was never to like be funny. Like I remember, I think it was 2 years ago. I came home for Christmas, and this was right after a breakup, and I gained some weight just from being sad. And my dad came over to me, and he like patted my stomach, was like, wow, looks like you gained the weight that I lost, because he had lost weight. And just like, I knew he wasn't trying to be funny. Like, it wasn't like, he tried to play it off as like he was saying something funny, but it wasn't nice. Like, he didn't say it in a funny way. He didn't say it in like a kind way. It was hurtful. It was
Yeah.
just hurtful. And that, I feel like that's how a lot of white families are. They don't really have a sense of humor about that. When they say things like that, it's to make you feel bad. It's to like try to motivate you to change. And all it motivated me was to feel like I needed to punch him in the face, you know?
Yeah.
Did you?
And I love my dad. No. And I love my dad.
Oh,
And I
you
know
should have.
he thought he was trying to do something or say something to like motivate me or whatever. But it was just hurtful. And I still love him, but that's a memory that will always stick with me now. And it sucks. I think about it, you know?
I'm a big advocate for everybody needs to get punched in the face for saying something dumb.
Right? You really are. That really is like your slogan.
It'll change a lot. You're gonna read like it's not gonna change everybody. And I'm not saying just beat the shit out of somebody for saying something you don't like. Don't get it twisted. But if somebody says some real dumb shit and you punch them in the mouth, they're gonna think again about what they say or what they're saying or what they said.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's a lot of people who have just said shit their whole lives and have really not had a real repercussion. Like,
Yeah,
all right,
especially behind the screen.
oh, keyboard warriors, don't get me started.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I played a new game. Speaking of that, people who's talking behind a screen, screen. I started playing this Right of War. It's a Civil War game, and they role play. And the people who role play the Confederates take it very seriously.
Oh, Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
god.
In a good way or a bad way?
It's not a good way, but it still makes me laugh a little bit because it's so like far. You know what I'm saying?
But also
Like
spot on.
It's so far out there that like
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe you're saying this out loud.
Yeah. And that you feel emboldened to do so.
Yeah. And they really role play both sides of it. There's so much funny things that people were saying though. Like I was on the Union side and this one guy and these two dudes are going back and forth and they're talking to each other. All right, boy, I see you got your lemon pepper shoes on. We're going to go over here and take over this house. Just keep the
Lemon pepper
shoes.
shoes.
I don't know what it means, but he keeps saying it. It was, yeah. Don't stream that game if you have the audio playing, because we found out real quick.
But yeah, there's a very fine line between humor of making fun of someone and just, being an asshole. And it's a lesson you have to learn.
Yeah.
One way or another, whether it's getting punched in the face or not.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of which, do we have This Is the Asshole?
We do. And this one, I think we're all going to agree on it, but I picked it because I feel like we're all going to have opinions about it. None of us are only children, right?
No.
Unfortunately, I do have a sister.
Okay. So this is, am I the asshole for exposing my parents' favoritism? And there's an update post after this, which we'll get into, but this is the original. My parents have always favored my younger brother. I was by no means unloved, but it was more blatantly obvious who they cared for more. I worked a part-time job to get my first car, but my brother got one as a present. It wasn't new, but was much newer than my car. It was the same with just about anything else: clothes, video games, cell phones. I'm 18 and taking a gap year before community college to work a full-time job and save money for tuition. But a while back, I heard my parents talking about how much they were going to pay for my brother's tuition. I secretly recorded the conversation from around the corner and then came out asking my parents why they weren't going to pay for my brother's college, but not mine. They didn't notice my phone was recording and just said that my brother needs more help. I asked how so, when I wasn't getting any sort of scholarship and he likely wouldn't either. Then I asked a few more questions about why things have always been this way. They got mad and my father told me that perhaps it's time I moved out because they are sick of keeping a roof over my head. I pointed out I pay rent, but they didn't care. I left the room in a fit of rage and uploaded the video to 2 different social medias I have and ranted about how this is how my parents have always been. Well, a few hours later, my parents were pounding at my door. My dad was screaming at me about how I made them look bad. We fought some and they left the room fuming. My grandparents contacted me later and said they were appalled, then came to visit with a lot of the family the next day. There was a huge family intervention, and my parents were made to sit on the couch and look at their feet while being told off. It was then that I found out they'd been receiving money for years from my grandparents to help with family expenses. My brother looked like he didn't know what to do, so he sided with the rest of the family and said how he's noticed how I'm treated as well. My parents gave me a huge apology that sounded forced. My grandparents have offered that I come live with them soon and will cut off the monthly payments to my parents. My father told me I should have never told the rest of the family and now won't talk to me, and my mother has been crying for days. So I'm starting to wonder if I went too far. Am I the asshole for exposing my parents' favoritism? So do you want to discuss it, or do you want me to tell you the update?
Yeah, let me hear the update.
Okay. And I have comments too for that as well, but here's the update. I decided to go ahead and call my grandparents to accept their offer to move in. During the phone call, I asked them why there were monthly payments being sent to my parents. Turns out my parents were living beyond their means for a while because my mother quit her job to be a full-time stay-at-home mom. My grandparents decided to help out by sending them money monthly to help with parents' mortgage, and also set aside some of that money for college savings for both my brother and I. That was to be split evenly. Turns out my parents only planned to put that savings towards my brother's college, and that's how they also bought his car as well. So from now on, my parents are now on their own financially. Likely, my mother will have to go back to work to help my dad to keep up the mortgage. I confronted my parents and asked why they've always treated my brother as a favorite, then asked if there was something I needed to know. Turns out there was nothing. Literally nothing. I'm not an affair baby, not even an unplanned pregnancy. They just liked my brother more. I was mad as hell, and we argued a lot before I left the room because I'd had enough. My grandparents showed up on Saturday with a moving truck. My parents were floored when we started bringing in boxes to pack. My father got in our way and reminded him how he said that I should move out, so I am. My mother cried some more and said that my father was just angry in the moment when he said that, and that they had been counting on my rent money to help with my brother's college fund.
Oh,
Fucked up.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Yeah. I asked if that meant he would never have to pay rent like I did when he turned 18. My father said that, next page. My father said that since I was taking a gap year to work, then my rent money would have helped my brother, which means they were never intended for him to get a job while going to college. My grandfather was enraged and confronted my father, saying he raised him better than this. He chewed him out, saying he's never been more disappointed in him and they will no longer receive any more financial support. Then he said he'd disown them both if they ever tried to retaliate against me for exposing them. My father backed down, and neither he or my mother said another word to me. I had a bit of an awkward conversation with my brother as we said our goodbyes to each other, and that was it. I just got in my car, waved, and drove off. I'm now fully moved into my new room at my grandparents' house. It's a little smaller but nice, and my grandparents are very welcoming. I'm going to keep working hard to move forward from here, and I appreciate everyone's support. The end.
I can't believe that's so blatant.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Did they ever explain why they like them better? Like they just do?
No, just said they
That's what
liked
she
them better.
said. They just picked it. That's weird.
That just
That's
sucks.
weird.
Yeah, I mean that just sucks for the guy. I mean,
Bad.
it just seems like he has shitty parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is a boy or girl. They never specified, so
That's what I was gonna question: is one a boy, one a girl?
I have no idea. Never said.
Because that could be a thing as well.
It could absolutely
In
it could.
certain cultures.
Yeah, it could definitely be a thing, but they never specified.
I'm gonna say that the person that made that story is the asshole with the grandparents. Why break up the family dynamic?
So you can't be serious.
No, like what did they?
am-
No, be honest. What did they gain from this broken family?
They got a house.
They got support from people
Yeah.
who actually care.
Yeah, but now, I mean, now the his family is just like left with nothing. That's not cool.
Yeah, it is. That's literally like.
Well,
And what
yeah,
about
exactly.
the what about the brother?
Sucks.
Who
What do
takes
you
care?
mean? What about the
Who
brother?
takes care of him
Go to
now?
work. Go to work.
The parents. They've
That's
always
not-
taken
Yeah.
care of him.
Have you ever heard of influenza?
Can we just talk real quick about the mother is still a stay-at-home mom with a kid about to go to college?
Yeah.
And
What's
kid
going
who's
on?
already ready to go to college.
And I feel like her like crying is the fact that she now has to go to work at her age.
Yeah.
She's devastated.
Yeah, probably.
And I'm not against stay-at-home moms, but like if you're living beyond your means, you no longer have to be home for those kids.
Yeah.
Also true. Like, what was she gonna do when they both were at college? Like,
Stay at
still a
home.
stay-at-home mom. Like,
Yeah.
Got to be a
Well,
stay-at-home.
I guess they weren't away at college, right? They were staying there because they were living there paying rent. Well, the one was
well,
paying
yeah.
rent.
So they said they took a gap year so they could earn enough money to go to community college.
What the
So they were
fuck?
18, but they had to take a year off to pay for community college, which that money should have already been there from the grandparents.
I feel like the audacity is like them saying, "Well, we were hoping you were gonna stay because your rent money would have helped us."
Would
like-
helped your
Paid for your
brother
Would
go
have
to
paid.
college.
Not that we want you to stay or like we don't want you to go. It's like we really need that cash, bro. Like,
Your brother needs that cash.
yeah, your brother needs
We're
it
not
now.
paying for your college.
I to be honest, I can see from the other family's point of view. If I was a complete piece of shit, you know what I mean? I could totally understand why like they would want like they have favoritism because I am a piece of shit. I only want to choose one like I guess child because
The
I'm
question mark I get is uploading it to social media
Yeah.
is like weird. That's like my
I mean, it-
That was my next point.
girlfriend's
That was my
my
next point.
girlfriend's cheating on me, so here's a video of her fucking some dude or on a date with some guy.
Well, we don't know what when she meant by upload. She could have uploaded it on Facebook for her families to see because
I
all her
guess,
families
yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah. She said she posted it to 2 different social media websites. And
Yes.
I don't know which ones they are.
So it could have been something specific for like she knows that her family like looks at this, so that's what it could have
Well,
been for.
I think that was fucked up, but I also get it because it felt like it was a cry for help. Because it was like no one else will literally understand unless I post this. Like,
I guess I could be like,
Is it fucked up
I don't
though?
know. It's not really fucked up, but that's the only thing you could ever have against this
Yeah,
person.
I don't feel like it's fucked up. Like
It's
if
just
you
like why put it
like because
online?
it sounds like and it's if you correct me if I'm wrong, how the story played out is he found like or he or she found out that you know they have favoritism. That they recorded it, and they said, "Listen, we're not gonna. You have to move out." Like it's like it just sounds like they just didn't give this person like any like options at all. Yeah, so I can understand why they did that. Like they're like, you know what? If I'm already leaving, if you're already kicking me out, then like fuck you. Like
I
yeah,
guess
burn the
what I
house
would-
down.
I think I'm actually supportive that they did it, but it's also, I guess, again, the only thing I could go against is like, why not send it to the grandparents or
That's what I was gonna say. Like, why
the
not just
aunt
send it
or
to
the
the family
family.
if that's what your target audience was?
like, hey, I sent you something in your email. I'm uncomfortable at home. I need some help.
But I feel like they also needed the support of outsiders, like complete outsiders, you know, to
Yeah.
validate how they're feeling. Which is probably the only reason why they put it out there. If they wanted to send it to family, they may have
would've.
felt that maybe their family would support like their mom and dad instead of them. So they just needed like more semi-unbiased opinions to validate how they're feeling.
The internet is full of unbiased opinions.
Oh yeah.
can I hear some of the
So
comments?
unbiased.
Can we hear some of the
Uh,
comments?
Yeah, but that I want to get into favoritism that you guys have witnessed in your families. But here's some comments. Not the asshole. Your parents are just pissed because people know the truth about them, and they're no longer going to be receiving handouts for your grandparents. That's what they're really upset about, losing their free money. Go live with your grandparents. They sound awesome, and how quickly they backed you. And then another comment replying to that was, right, it's good to hear that the rest of the family supported the original poster since that never seems to happen in this subreddit. And then someone else said, even the brother who benefits from favoritism, not the asshole, but I wonder if the original poster is female. This may explain the favoritism a tad, especially regarding education.
I
And
did
then
feel like it was a girl. I don't
yeah,
know.
I felt like it
Something
was a girl
about it.
too. Yeah, I felt like it was a girl too. Someone else said, reading the grandparents and family response, I felt like jumping up and down and screaming for joy. So many other posts go ... another way, not the asshole. Yay, you original poster. I'm glad your extended family heck. And then someone commented that and said, same here. I love the stories when assholes are put in their place by family. Way too often, people will guilt one family member into forgiving another or letting something go just to keep the peace. I know my own grandma was guilty of this. With some people in our family, it's so frustrating to see happen. And then last comment that I have is, not the asshole. You didn't make them look bad. They made themselves look bad. And the rest of their family is fortunately smart enough to know that. Definitely go with the grandparents. They sound like good people. You should also check that you don't live in a place where secretly recording is illegal, like California. From the way you've described your parents, I wouldn't put it past them to go after you for damages, especially if your grandparents cut them off.
That would be wild.
Yeah, right?
Could you
Because
imagine
apparently
that?
they're just desperate for money, so you never know. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to go in more into your experiences, like personally with favoritism with your parents. Does anyone have anything that they want to share about that?
I don't. Our parents really treated us equally.
Anyway,
No, actually, if anything, I was probably the more favorited one.
from both parents?
I feel no, from just my mother.
Hmm.
Yeah, my mother like really like, what's it called? Not spoiled, but like, would help me out a lot more than what my. I don't know.
but
I don't know.
dad-
To be
your
honest,
dad also helps you out a shit ton.
I don't know.
that
To
I've
be
seen in
honest,
your adulthood.
now that I look like at our entire lives, my sister has also gotten help from my mom as well. So I don't know. Yeah, I think it's even. You know, I know from an emotional standpoint, my mom lacked in both for me and my sister, and my dad can only do so much for both me and my sister. So, but everything was pretty much even. I don't think me and my sister ever felt like either one of us was more favorited.
My sister got away with murder.
Yeah, my sister got away with murder as well. Like murder.
I think it.
Give me some examples here.
I mean,
She chucked a
from-
water bottle at my head and put it through the wall, and nothing was done about it.
I think for
Sounds like you
me-
deserved it.
I think for me, the thing was, I don't think she overly got away with things more, but her punishments were not nearly the same. And I think it was just punishment differential between guys and girls. For
Yeah,
like
probably,
my dad,
yeah.
at least.
Maybe, yeah, true.
Because like there was definitely things that I did that I got caught and she got caught for, and I would get the fuck beaten out of me for it. And she would get in trouble, grounded, and then it was fine. I'm like, what is going on here? And like, she didn't technically get away with it, but in my eyes, she got away with a lot because I got punched in the fucking mouth for it. So I think that's the favoritism. Because even now, like, if I need some help, my parents will help me out. If my sister needs help, my parents will help her out. If any of my other brothers and sisters need help, they're gonna help them out. And even to the point where, like, I asked my parent, I was in a rough spot for some rent for a while, and my parents helped me out a lot. And they were like, you know, we helped your sister out a while back as part of her wedding present for buying a house. We gave her a little bit extra towards the house than we would have. So like, we're going to give you some money because you need some help. And so like, now I don't think there's any favoritism, but definitely with like punishments growing up, it was not the same.
I feel like for my family, the older we got, the more clear our ranking with our mom and our dad was. I'm definitely not my mom's favorite. One of my brothers is definitely her favorite, which we all know. Growing up, she was there, but mentally she wasn't there. So she kind of let my brothers get away with a lot more. And my dad was gone a lot because he was traveling and stuff with work. So it always felt a little bit unfair to me, but it was weighted out by the fact that I'm my dad's favorite. I'm a daddy's girl. I definitely am. I'm definitely my dad's favorite. He's the one. He still like will pay for my flights to come home for Christmas. Like part of that is he knows I'm a teacher, so I make shit. But part of it is like I'm definitely his favorite. He has confided in me when he was divorcing my mom and with his new marriage to my stepmom. Like we've always been buddies, you know. And he loves my brothers. He does. And my littlest brother, I would say, is his second favorite because he spent the most time with him. But I'm definitely my dad's favorite. I'm definitely not my mom's favorite. But as an adult, they both love and support us equally. There's no, except for my dad paying for my flights. But you could definitely tell who was the favorite of everybody. And even like my aunt, who I don't talk to anymore for other reasons, I was never her favorite. I think I was the lowest tier of all of my siblings with her, which is why it was so easy for us to just not talk anymore. But you could definitely tell who the favorite is. And when I was younger, I always thought it was so unfair. I never understood. And as an adult now, which is a weird sentence to say because I don't feel like I'm an adult, but I am. I get it a little bit because it's just like you mesh with some people's personalities better than other people's personalities. And you kind of can't help but feel more connected to some people versus others. It's not fair, but it's reality.
It is.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, with what was it? I had an uncle who was very like he had a like it was very favoritism with his 3 kids. 2 of them were boys, and the girl would be favored a lot compared to the boys. Like they would show like they ended up getting the basement of the apartment while she got the very nice like upstairs room. They're like, yeah, we want to make sure she's in the house, but you guys get the basement and like we'll remodel it. Like it still had like when they first moved in, like there was still like metal like wires exposed in like one of my little cousin's room. Like
Oh,
where
wow.
he was like it wasn't like bad like he got electrocuted, but like obviously the place wasn't ready yet. And like after like a year of them staying because they ended up staying there like 10 years. When I visited when I was younger, like it was really nice. But like at first I saw the pictures and I was like, damn, like they just put you guys in here like it was no other choice. Like but the sister got the really nice already made room and everything. Like whenever she wanted to go out, they'd go out and they'd complain obviously because they'd be like, oh, we don't get to go out at this time. And be like, well, your sister's different, you know, she has friends in high school. it's got a reputation to uphold or some shit like that. But yeah, I saw a lot of favoritism. My parents,
Yeah.
they were pretty even, you know, with me and my sister.
And it's definitely easier to recognize as an adult or as you're growing up and looking back at it. Yeah, River, did you ever experience favoritism between you and your sister?
Just in like discipline, right? And like my sister got whatever she wanted, and if I wanted something, I had to work for it. Like her cell phone bill was paid for. I had to pay for my own. Just stuff like that.
I mean, my dad still pays for my cell phone and no one else's. Well, my little brother, he still pays for it.
I see. For me and my sister, it was different because we're 10 years apart, right? So by the time that I got a cell phone, my sister's already out of the house. Like she's paying her own bills. She's been out of the house since she was
Yeah.
like 17. You know what I mean?
That,
So
that's
it's
how it
like,
is with my oldest brother.
yeah, it was really like so it was like there really couldn't be a lot of favoritism because I'm 15-year-old me, like of course my parents have to take care of me still. While my sister's 25, she already got her apartment, she's staying with her boyfriend, she's going to college, like it's a whole different fucking ballgame for her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my brothers were already out paying for their own cell phones by the time like family plans came out. So I
Yeah.
was added to his family plan and he just has never taken me off.
Because we couldn't really afford like at that time, what was it, Singular or what was it?
I don't know.
I forgot what they had. Like, but we had Metro PCS when it first came out, and I was around the time of unlimited, so like $60 unlimited, like minutes, unlimited text messages. That's all you got. But
And
I
you have to have,
remember,
like, the family plan for that.
no, it was just like, see, Metro PCS
Oh.
was like so cheap and shit, that you could just do that. Like it was ahead of its time. Like now everybody does that, right? But like before, like only Metro PCS was doing that around, like in Florida. But I remember when my sister was getting a cell phone with my dad, and they had like rollover minutes, and like there was times where my mom and dad would be like, "Carla, get off the fucking phone. It's not 9. It's not 9 yet. Like if you're gonna talk to your friends, talk to them after 9." Yeah, I remember all that shit. That's a different time, man.
Yeah. Well, I've got another Am I the Asshole where we can go to shoutouts. What do we want to do?
Let's just save it for tomorrow, or not tomorrow,
I
next
have
week.
my
Yeah, you have your
what's it
thing.
called?
Your
Uh,
it's your thing. What are you calling it?
Conspiracy theories.
All right, conspiracy theories.
Oh, yes. Okay.
All right, give
This
me
is-
my conspiracy of the week.
This is a wild one,
All
but I
right.
want to bring it up because it is so wild. You may or may not have heard of it. Long story short, there's still people to this day that don't think the Holocaust was real,
Of course, I've
Yeah.
heard of that.
Yeah.
that it didn't happen, and that it is invented or exaggerated to gain sympathy and monetary gains for Jewish people.
Wait, are you just finding this out?
No, I just wanted to bring it up because
Oh,
it's
okay.
I'm sure there's people who haven't heard of this or don't believe that it's real, but like
The younger
there's
people, yeah.
there's books about it. There's books that people say like this is fake, this didn't happen.
Did you see that there was a school board recently that said that if the teachers were going to present information about the Holocaust, that they had to present the other side of the Holocaust?
What
which
other
was
side?
That was in
Exactly.
Canada. That
The
was
na-
in Canada.
Wait, what are they? What are
Let
the,
me
the,
let
the
me
Nazi
give some
side?
context. No, let me give some context.
Alright.
So-
Let's hear it.
It wasn't a direct correlation about like the Nazi Party. It was a blanket statement that if you're gonna teach about like World War II Germany history, you have to teach both the good parts and the bad parts, because there was times where like you only teach everyone about like the bad parts of World War II, right? Like Nazis and stuff like that. And what they're trying to do is prevent people from only focusing on one side of history. Because right now we're having a big problem with our Native American population and how we treated them, because our history is very one-sided. So they passed the policy so that when history is taught, both sides are taught.
Yeah, I get it.
And someone
I don't think
published
that's
an
the example
article.
I'm thinking about. Let me look this up.
What was
It
the
was
good?
in Alberta.
What was the good of
It
World
was in
War II?
Alberta.
It revitalized the depression that Germany was going through and made it a superpower that we know it today. It's the reason we have Volkswagen.
It's actually the reason why America is such a powerful war machine.
Because of our
They actually
victory.
did a lot. Well, like, we got a
Because
lot of
it
their
forced
scientists.
it. You got a lot of the scientists, but it also forced you guys to industrialize your war machine quickly, far more quickly than you would have if not brought into war.
River, this is not the example I'm talking about.
Oh, well, we had that issue. Like, it was just introduced today. So
No. So this is in Texas.
Ah, good old
Surprising.
Texas.
Good old Texas. A district administrator told
Stars
teachers
and
to
stripes.
offer students books showing opposing perspectives on the Holocaust, saying that she was trying to follow a problematic new state law while also condemning her interpretation of that law.
Is it the
So
same
it's basically
people
like-
that wanted to say what's the good and bad of slavery?
Probably. But it's basically like you have to show. It was so fucking stupid. And basically everyone was like, "There's not two sides to the Holocaust." Like, there is no two sides to that.
Well, I mean, there is the good side if you're going to label it that, which is not a good side because obviously genocide is not good. But like, it made a lot of things that we have today. It made even like what's it called? War crimes.
Yep.
Mhm.
So like it made it a thing, like gas, using certain weapons and shit.
But like the
it could be-
aftermaths of what happened in World War II were good effects.
Yeah, and even a lot of it was good.
The
And like,
technology that came out of it.
So what you're saying is
is
go
it
full.
worth genocide? No.
No.
I don't know. But there's definitely been some good things. But like, the thing that I'm baffled by is that people just think it didn't happen.
Yeah.
What do they
How-
think?
how-
What do they think happened?
Nothing.
Yeah, they think it's exaggerated. They're like, yeah, they killed some Jewish people, but it's not a big deal.
They killed some
Not as
Jewish
many
people.
people. Not that many people died.
Yeah,
is what
and
they say.
concentration camps were like totally fine. Everyone was
They were
fine.
They were prison camps. It wasn't just Jewish people, is what they say.
Yeah. And most of them survived. You know, it's totally fine. The pictures that we see of them as basically skeletons and skin, you know, exaggerated.
One 2014 survey coordinated by the Anti-Defamation League of more than 53,000 people across 100 countries found that only 30% of the respondents thought historical accounts of the Holocaust were accurate.
Oh, 30?
30%. Only 30
dear
thought that it was
God.
real, that it was completely accurate. Respondents under the age of 65 were more likely to say they didn't believe the Holocaust happened as the history books say it did.
Jesus Christ.
Am I missing some conspiracy? Like, are we left out, or like what? That seems like,
Well, like-
too small of a number.
Yeah.
30% don't think it was real?
No, the 30%
Or no,
believe it's real.
70% don't think it was real.
Oh, I thought you meant it was the other way around.
No, 70% think it's not accurate.
Oh, that it's not accurate. 70% of them.
70% think it's not real.
I don't know, man. Maybe we're missing something. Maybe we're missing something. What are they seeing? Like,
The only thing we're missing is ignorance, which is what these people have.
Poor education on the subject may be an explanation for this, but some conspiracy theorists push anti-Semitic notion that the Holocaust was invented or exaggerated to garner sympathy and monetary gains for Jewish people while serving and advancing Jewish interests. Deborah Lipstadt, sounds like a great name to be talking about it, a historian, professor, and who has written books on the Holocaust denial, separates Holocaust deniers into two groups. There are the hardcore deniers who say it didn't happen at all. And then there are the less fervent deniers who admit the Holocaust happened, but question the official death toll or that gas chambers were ever used for mass murder. Among many poignant, I don't know what word that means.
Poignant?
Sure, Poignant.
Yeah, poignant.
so here's my
What is
thing.
that?
I feel like this could be debunked real easy. At that time in World War One, they had to have captured some Nazi soldier, I'm guessing, of high ranking at some point. Maybe.
They
Right.
tried people.
Right. They tried people. There you go. So they had
It
had some
happened.
people. So there's got to be some record that these people who you believe to have caused these atrocities did confirm that happened.
They did.
Okay. So like, if that is true, then how is the denier going to be like, I don't believe the even people who say it did happen because they're the ones that committed the crime. I don't believe them.
I mean, there's literally old people that are still being tried for these things they're like found out. Like, I don't know, there was a 95-year-old person who was recently on trial for being a Nazi. I think she
Yeah.
was like a secretary or something there.
There's
I don't know.
been a bunch in the States
Yeah.
that have like secretly come over, and in
Mhm.
a lot of them went to Argentina, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a show or a documentary on Netflix about a guy who was in Ohio, I think, and it's like my neighbor is a Nazi, and it turns out I didn't watch it, so I gotta watch it all. I haven't watched it all the way through, but they think that this guy who's been living his life is a famous concentration camp runner, and that he did all these like different trials on Jewish people and all kinds of shit, and that he was like wanted for war crimes. They think it's him, and they brought him into court and shit.
I don't know. I just don't believe it.
So fucked up.
But how?
I also
don't
think, though,
understand how
that-
this is a theory.
Like, we know what happened, but I also think that the amount of education and technology that came out of Germany during World War II, there's got to be people that are protected and in hiding that you'll never find because there's governments
Oh
around
yeah.
the world protecting their identity because of what they know and the technology that they brought over.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at all of the crazy fucking experiments that they would do on the prisoners in these concentration camps. Like, sure, they learned some things
I
about
mean,
science,
dude,
but
we've seen it.
wow, it's
We've
fucked
even
up.
seen it happen like live in front of us. I mean, think about it. The Red Skull was able to use Hydra to get the Tesseract, and they used the Nazi Party to do so.
Oh
And
damn,
if it
you're
wasn't,
right.
if it wasn't for Captain America, I don't know where we'd be right now.
All right. Well.
You know?
Have any of
These
you
are all
ever
right,
been
though.
to a Holocaust museum?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
The one that I went to,
They,
you
I
get
think they took us for a field trip. Like it was one of
yeah,
our.
same.
Yeah, I remember.
You get a person's identity,
Mhm.
and then you go through the museum, and at the end, you find out whether they lived or died, and that has always stuck with me.
Mine died.
Yeah, mine died.
Yeah.
Well, it just shows you guys are weak because I survived.
Already. Wow.
Damn.
Damn, bro. That's a spicy take. Wow.
And welcome to the podcast.
Oh,
have a great day.
Jesus Christ.
No, I'd actually would love to go to the Holocaust Museum now that I'm older.
Yeah, now that I'm an adult.
Never
sure.
been ever since I was done that field trip, but I'd love to
Yeah.
go now.
And I feel like when we were younger, we still couldn't grasp the gravity of the situation. I feel like even now we couldn't, but we'd have a better understanding of it.
Just the sheer amount of people that died.
Yeah.
I mean, there's mass graves. There's proof. There's pictures. Like, you've seen the pictures that the U.S. Army took when they first went to these concentration camps, and the people were skeletons, skin and bones. Like, how do you dispute that?
But you don't know
There
that
was
you
no
weren't there.
Photoshop back then.
You
You
weren't
weren't there.
You weren't there, bro.
You weren't there.
Just makes
There's
me sad.
Photoshop now, okay?
Yeah.
Mm,
There's
let's-
Photoshop now.
Yeah. All right.
Jesus.
Shout outs.
All right.
What
I'll
do we
go
sh-
first.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Take the floor's yours.
Okay. So I told you about an interaction I had with an ex recently.
Oh yeah.
My shout out goes to one of my best friends in the entire world who I met in college. She married my other best friend from college, and she's pregnant. She's having a baby. I'm so excited. I could not be happier, number one, because I don't ever want to have kids, so there's no like residual feelings of jealousy, which I feel like some of my friends have with her because they haven't gotten pregnant or can't get pregnant yet. I'm just like, no, man, like I'm just genuinely happy. So I'm super excited because I get to be an auntie. But the ex that I texted was the one I was dating in college, who was friends with all of us, and he's been the one who has always reached out, like maybe once a year. He'll reach out and say something about like, wow, I can't believe so and so has been married for 3 years. Like, oh wow, blah blah blah. So when she told me this, I was like, maybe I should reach out. And I was like, nah, this is a fucking stupid idea. There's no reason for you to reach out to an ex from like 10 years ago. But I typed it up and I sent it. And as soon as I sent it, I literally smacked my head because I was like, why did I just fucking do that? And I'll read you. Well, no, never mind. I can't read it to you. I deleted it. So fucking embarrassed. But I texted him and I was like, I just talked to so-and-so yesterday and they're pregnant. And I'm like so excited and all this stuff. And then he was like, wow, it's crazy how life has gone, right? I was like, yeah. But I'm super happy for them, and especially because I don't want babies. And then he never texted me back. And that is a sign from him being like, he's in a relationship right now because he doesn't feel comfortable texting me back.
Do you know he's in a relationship?
No, I have no proof. but every time we've ever texted each other, the person who usually doesn't respond is in a relationship.
You think so?
So, yeah, no, I think so, because there is no other reason he wouldn't respond other than he felt guilty because he's with someone. I know him,
I respond to your messages, and I'm in a relationship.
but you're not my ex.
That doesn't mean anything. I'm a
I
male.
don't know that.
Yes, because he
It doesn't mean
cheated
anything.
on me with an ex,
What
and
if
it's a
Solo
lesson that he's
identifies
learned.
as an ex?
Well, yeah. What if I identify myself as an ex?
I don't know, Soul,
Yeah.
have we fucked? No, we haven't. So...
No.
No.
Well, you can't stop me from deciding who I am. That you're being prejudiced.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're being
Uh-huh.
prejudiced.
How dare you?
Right.
And
Yeah, he's
sexist.
definitely the
And
one.
sexist on top of that, because I'm
Yeah.
a male,
We-
you're a female.
Uh-huh.
I
Yep.
want to
Yeah,
add a
whatever.
new feature to our podcast for the people watching here on YouTube. I would like to add a feature where we can cancel somebody. A big cancel sign comes over, like a stamp. Boom, canceled.
Right.
I'd have
Hold
to
on. We have a new person in the chat, Kamala. Your audio is a bit distorted at the moment. Sorry. Could you press Windows button L, then select audio settings and recalibrate to stabilize audio? Thanks for the interesting discussions. Well, thanks for popping in. We appreciate it. But yeah, so work on that shit.
I'll definitely look into it so I can fix it
You
for next
better.
podcast.
It could
Thank
be
you.
my audio because I'm on a crappy headphones.
Probably you hotel dwelling troll.
But I appreciate
Yeah.
it, Kamala. I'm gonna definitely look into it. I'll listen back to this podcast and fix it. We're already wrapping up towards the end, so.
Yeah, sorry. Have any shout outs?
I'm gonna give a shout out to Pink Whitney.
You know what? I'll double that. My shout out to Pink Whitney too, because
Sponsor us.
sponsor us. You know,
I'm telling you, if they sponsor us, I will get a tattoo.
You
I've
can
never
you
had
can
a tattoo.
sponsor
Yeah.
either us, or you can sponsor the next mixtape I come out with, or you can sponsor Hammered's next fight. I don't know. Sponsor us in any way. I don't know. It'd be great. Let's get the
Hashtag
talks
For
going.
any of us, I'll get a tattoo.
Yeah, your fucking liquor is great. I've had this is my second bottle, so
Big fan. Big fan. I'm saving all my bottles. They're all right here, which is all blurred out, but you can see it when I put my hand there. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, you are named Hammered Bartender, so
yeah. So yeah.
All right.
All right, River. What's
River?
yours?
My shout out is to. Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm going to shout out to my employer for giving me the opportunity to earn extra money while doing far less work.
There
I
you
thought
go.
he was gonna shout out Kyle, Rittenhouse.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
My buddy, my guy.
I cannot do that. No.
That's okay. I'm glad that you can't.
But that's good.
Alright.
Hey, good job. Making money.
Shout out clock before we leave.
Yeah, I'll take
Hold
a
on,
shot.
wait. I want to ask, and I know this is personal, River,
What?
but how goes your fertility things?
What?
We've stopped it. It's too much.
Oh,
It's hard,
no,
like
I
on
get it.
both of us.
That's what I was
So,
gonna say because I know how hard it is for my friends who are
Yeah.
still trying to constantly have negative, positive,
yeah,
like
it's
negative
emotionally and financially draining. So,
If I may ask, are you thinking about adoption?
it's something that we're talking about and exploring. Here in Canada, it's not as easy as just adopting. There's a large financial complication to it, as well as like they come in, they inspect your home, and they do like the whole 9 yards. It's like
Well, you
It's
can come to America. You get a baby and a case of Budweiser.
That's not how it works.
I'm
In
pretty
America,
sure that's
it works.
exactly how it works.
In
I've
America,
had a
it works in
friend-
any way.
No, it's not because I have a friend who's been trying to adopt for 3 years. Granted, they're only going for babies, but they've been trying to adopt for 3 years and still have had no bites. And they're decent people. So I the only thing I would say is maybe look into fostering for a bit because I don't know, River, like
That's something that we've thought about too, because fostering is apparently it's not as not as difficult, I guess, to get into as adoption.
yeah.
And then once you're a foster parent, it's easier to actually adopt.
And I don't know your wife. I just know her through the things you've told me, and I know you, and I know that you guys would be amazing parents. So don't give up.
Aw, thank you.
Well, no, not thank you. It's just true. Like, you're a great person. I know your wife is a great person. She wants to be a mom. So don't give up. You'll find it. It'll
I'm
come.
not gonna lie, I thought you were 12.
Thanks.
No, he's like
Emma.
30.
He's old as shit.
I'm just talking shit.
He's older
I'm
than
not
30's
that
old as
am
shit?
I?
Yeah, that means you're an old man too.
Who's how old is everybody?
I'm 30
I'm
now.
29. 29.
French is
30.
29.
I'm 30.
River's 30. Oh my god.
Hey,
You're the
you're the
oldest,
oldest
old
man.
I'm 32.
There you
Yeah,
go. Old
you're-
man.
You're an old man.
Wow.
Cheers.
I was born in the 80s. How's that feel?
I was born right in the beginning of the 90s, the greatest era.
I was born 92. Best year.
The greatest era? Okay.
90s? It's the best,
90s
bro.
is.
90s is the best.
Definitely.
90s kids
Yep.
rule.
Agreed.
All right, shadow clock.
All right.
We'll steal it
Shadow
up.
clock. All right. Are we taking a shot?
Yeah, we're taking a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. I'm ready.
Cheers.
Ready?
Cheers.
Here we
All
go.
right. Cheers to a great podcast. Good job, guys.
Yes, we will be back next week, Saturday, 9:30-ish to 10. It's usually where the time. We try to be here at 9:30.
Mr. Doo-Doo.
Yeah, my bad. But yeah, every Saturday, 9:30. Our podcast is also on Podbean. You can download it. It's there every week, uploaded on Wednesdays. The first 3 episodes are up now, and we're uploading more starting next week because I wanted to wait a little bit so we have a little backlog. But we're gonna upload the next few next week because this is episode 7. So you have up until episode 3. You can download. You can also check us on Spotify, Pandora, Twitter as well if you want to like tweet us,
Get on the chicken nugget vote.
or if you want to
Yeah,
be a
we'll be
part of
posting
the. If you want to be a part of the podcast as well, if you're like a streamer or anything, you can always email us at smartnotsober@gmail.com. But or our Twitter,
Someone
either way.
definitely checks that.
I check it. No, it's on my. It's in my
Okay.
thing. If I get an email, it pops up. Believe me, I check my emails every day.
Good. But yeah, we're gonna be posting in the DBD Discord, which if you don't have, we can send to you. But also on Twitter, our tier list for fast food for next week.
Yeah, we're gonna have a
Awesome.
debate on what's the best fast food next week. So we'll figure.
All
Yeah.
Canadian fast food is better than American fast food.
It out. Okay, well,
All right, Mr. Hortons.
sorry, we're only talking about America.
Is Hortons only in Canada?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sounds
Tim
like
Hortons
there's
is
some
only Canada.
there's some
I feel
Tim
like I've
Hortons in
had
the
it.
States.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there is. Yes,
Wow.
there is. I'm
Yeah, there
sure
is.
I've
in
had
the
it.
States.
There's Tim Hortons, yeah.
All right, well, we'll
in
save
the
it. We'll
northern-
save it for next podcast. So
Yeah. All right.
Keep it. Bye, everybody. Have a
Thanks
very
for
good
listening,
night.
everybody. Have a good night.
Peace.